Hey, everybody, it's Tuesday, December 20th, 2022. Welcome to the Giant Bombcast, episode 768. I'm your host, Jan Ochoa. The Game of the Year smoke has cleared. 5 or 10 category winners have been named. Runners-up have been runnered-up. We also have crowned a top 10, meaning we have a new Game of the Year for the website, but we won't spoil those secrets just yet. If you're putting them in your pocket, saving them over Christmas break to listen to, just make sure you put it in the fridge. Speaking about fridge, I got a bunch of cold, icy dads with me. The frostiest daddy, Mr. Freeze himself, Jeff Grubb.
What's up, son?
That's right. That's like a royal son. That's to all of you right now. You just got sunned.
Are you winning, son? There you go.
There we go. We got Dr. Hockey himself, Jeff Bakalar.
Hey, do me a favor, take out the trash.
There we go. And we have Otter Pop enthusiast, Jason A. Stryker.
Hey, who taught you to do that?
That's a classic. It's a classic.
Wow, I feel like I just gotta sit in place and just like look down now and just nod my head.
You're that doggy zaddy, man.
There we go. That's right. Put it on a mug. Doggy zaddies. And then it just like it looks super 90s, and then it's just like a wolf with its eyes popping out.
Yeah.
And it's like tongue just rolling out like doggy zaddy or ooga ooga ooga. How's it going, folks?
Good.
Good. I'm done for the year. I don't know about you guys. I'm done.
I'm ready.
You're all fucked up, right? Like you're not feeling well?
I'm like up and down. I'm doing better today than I was yesterday. I was like on the downswing yesterday, and then I woke up feeling mostly fine. There's still something going on behind the old like face muscles, but you know, what are you gonna do about that at a certain point? Like that's just gonna be life.
Cut your face off, you know?
Yeah, just if I could, if I could, and just like set it down and just get in there and scoop out the goop. Like let's do it.
Scoop the goop.
Yeah, I'm gonna scoop the goop. But yeah, I'm doing better. I'm doing good. I'm ready to podcast today, but I am also ready for like hibernation until next year. At this point, like for a week and a half, let's do it.
Yo, I'm so ready. I'm itching with anticipation. I'm like, I'm going to do nothing, but then I'm still going to have to do things like, you know, my regular day-to-day responsibilities. That none of that stops. But you know what I might do, folks? You know what I might do? I might watch the stupid Avatar movie again.
Oh, what? Yeah.
Again?
The stupid one? Wow. You watched it once already?
I watched Way of the Water already.
Holy shit. Okay.
And it was an obscene amount of time in my life. And then I don't.
And I wish I could fly out there and have you take me to the movies, Jan. I would go. I haven't seen it yet. Man, that sounds like a good time.
Let me tell you, okay, before we get to games and other shenanigans today, also, folks, welcome to the last live Bombcast of the year. It's obscenely long. James Cameron knows how to make a movie, and I did not like the first one. I think I was part of society that poo-pooed on the blue people, partially because they took the name Avatar away from the last Airbender folks.
Sure, completely fair. Also because you were sexually attracted to the blue cat people. You didn't want to admit it. That's a big part of the population, too.
You know, it came out when I was in my teens, so...
Your formative years.
My formative years. I didn't know what I was into just yet. And now, after watching Way of the Water, I am so into blue people. It's all in.
Was that the only reason you didn't like the first one? Like there wasn't anything else about the first one that, you know, was it the fact that the really hard to secure mineral was called unobtainium? Was that
unobtainium?
People like get like real critical of that. If that was in an anime, all of these fucking nerds would just be like, "Oh, it's so clever."
Look, you're talking to an anime pro here.
Yeah,
okay?
Listen, number one weeb. Weeb in chief.
I mean, I get it. I understand why that would work in an anime and not an Avatar.
Well, if you told me
Giovanni Ribisi just sitting there looking at you, you're like, this fucking guy.
I can't remember if Giovanni Ribisi dies in the first one. Like, if he did die in the first one, it would seem needless.
No, he at the end of the movie, he's like one of the guys that's like going to the ship with his tail between his legs, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh shucks, I got caught with my hand in the candy jar or whatever."
Right.
Like he looks like that, and it's very fun.
He just mopes away. He is perpetually moping anyway, so I feel
That
like
fucking guy
makes
though,
sense.
right?
Yeah, I love him for sure. I think I love him. Yeah, so I'm glad you're seeing this for a second time. Waste some more time. Who cares, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, I got to watch it in like the high frame rate version, dog.
Yeah, I really want to see
yeah.
it's 120 frames per second in some scenes, and in some scenes it goes back and forth between 120 and 24, and I'm like, that sounds like a nightmare. I gotta see that.
I don't.
That is the papyrus font that they use for
Yeah,
subtitles.
Oh, the papyrus is still there. It's still there.
Oh, it's
Spoilers,
still there?
folks.
They
Spoilers.
adapted it a little bit, right? I think they changed it. Now they call it Turok, like named after not Turok.
Turok. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the Turok font, which would be even better. Apparently, like they got real conscious or self-conscious about that, and they're like, "No, we got a new font for this one." But if you look at it, like that's how you could tell the movie was still culturally relevant because SNL was making a joke about it. I'm like, that's
Oh,
not what that
Jesus.
means. That's not what that means.
What a dumb
tell
thing
me.
to say.
Oh, but guys, I think I'm all in. I like, everyone is running to the bathroom afterwards because no one wanted to leave. And
How
then
long is it? How long is it?
3 hours.
3+ hours. It
Oh,
felt longer.
The fucking nerve. The absolute gall. The nerve.
But if anyone's allowed to have the nerve, it is the man who made the 2 highest grossing movies in the world of all time, like Avatar and Titanic.
Yeah, and no one's
kind of
gonna
has that blank check with all of our movie lives.
Well, I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm just saying it's a psychotic move in 2022.
Yeah, he is definitely that.
Yeah.
For
To
sure.
make a movie that I was on the way out to LA there was like, I think I was I forget what I was wanting to watch, but I don't know if it was like a director's cut. I can't remember the movie, but it literally said 300 something minutes. And I was just like,
Damn.
what the fuck?
Wait a second.
It was like maybe it was like a bat. I think it was the Batman. It was like the Batman extended something.
Oh, God.
And I'm just like,
That's like 5 hours, right?
yeah, even the
300 minutes of
plane
Batman
was like,
these
yo,
days.
you're not gonna finish this, dog. Like you're not gonna finish this by the time. Maybe suggest movies under 8 hours for you.
Well, I'm sure I've said this on Giant Bomb content before, but I just wanted to
Please.
check with you guys first. What is your strategy for peeing and long movies? Do you have like a pregame ritual? Do you have what do you do?
I pee right before, and I do this for planes too. Like I'll be the last person on the plane. I love being the last person on the plane, and I will piss literally as they're saying last call. And I'm good for like at least 4 or 5
That's too
hours.
stressful for me. That's too stressful to be like when they're like last call stuff. Ugh.
Jason, your pee strategy.
I just go right there in the theater.
Oh, of course,
Oh,
yeah.
you just piss on your floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice,
Get
nice.
That's for two
Can't
cups.
miss that way.
Exactly.
I generally will strategically place my seat closest to the exit. Especially, it's helpful now with every theater you got to choose your seats. So that's what I will run for. Got to be by the stairs for an easy exit.
I go to Subway and I get the buffalo chicken sandwich because there's so much sodium in that buffalo sauce. You basically have to pee for like 2.5 days.
Yeah, you
It's
piss
just like
rocks after.
Yes, you were right. Yep. You just yes, and it's like, listen, it's a trade-off for sure. But no, I've done that, and every time I'm like, no, I'm fine. I don't have to pee for even an hour after the movie. I'm good. I can just walk out and go home, and I'm all set. So that's the big move right there. That's what I suggest to everybody. Yeah.
The other thing I was thinking of is like I kept looking at my phone of like noting the time and how much time had passed, and then like, all right, if I have to use the bathroom for an extended period of time, I'm gonna mark in my head when it was. So if I watch this movie again, I know when to not leave.
Oh Jesus! What a way to live.
Ah, man, let me tell you. Also, in line at the urinal, wave of water after the show gets out. 2 dudes behind me. One of them goes, "Bro, it's time. It's time I learn how to swim, bro."
Hell yeah. Changing people's lives, James Cameron. Hell
The way
yeah.
of water. The way of water.
And then I turn around and I smile, and then he doesn't smile back at me.
He's like, that was between me and my bro. How dare you?
Also, high bro count in this movie. Like literally 3 characters are constantly saying, "Bro, are you okay, bro? Bro." It's great.
I've listened to multiple reviews, podcasts. I've read some reviews. I still don't know what to expect from this movie. Edie Falco apparently goes into a mech. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you?
There's a point with Edie Falco in that mech that is, it's so good. It's such a dumbest thing in the world.
I need to see it. I'm so excited. I love the first Avatar movie unashamedly. I'm ready for this one. I almost went on Sunday night. I was gonna put my kids to bed and then go, but I'm just like, I'm too tired. I'm an old man now, so I'm imagining myself at like 2.5 hours in, falling asleep and snoring and bothering the person next to me. I'm like,
oh no, Grub, you would have been awake the whole time.
Yeah, and I believe in myself. You're right. I'm gonna make it happen.
Last thing about Way of Water, there were at least 7 times where my partner leaned over to me and said or whispered, "Hey, do you think it's gonna end soon?" 7 times, 7 different instances, and then I looked at her and was like, "Yeah, I think so." The movie kept going. The movie fucking kept going.
Wow. I'm sorry. The best thing in chat. I'm sorry. Looter Jen. A bunch of people are saying this. Edie Falco didn't realize the movie hadn't come out. She thought it came out and flopped. That's how much she's not paying attention. I've got to see her in a mech. That is.
Oh
to me,
my
it's like
God.
It's like worlds colliding there. Edie Falco is like she's the guard from Oz, right, on HBO, like one of the prison guards.
Oh my God, yeah, she is, and she's also Carmela Soprano, which
right?
Yes,
Carmela Soprano in a mech.
That's what threw me for a loop. I'm like, wait, that's not what I know her from.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah.
She is in Oz as well.
Yes. Well, okay, I'm very old.
No, that's a good pull. Because I totally forgot. I mean, there's a lot of people who came out of Oz.
It's like saying like Ted Danson is from Cheers when he's really from Becker. Come on.
Yeah, that's a mistake most people make.
All right, there he goes again.
All aboard the Becker train because it's time to talk about games.
Jesus. I love that. Edie Falco.
Everyone's mad about that.
I thought Avatar bombed. I didn't realize that shit
rules.
came out.
That rules.
Before we actually talk about games, Jeff Bakalar, you took a quick trip down to Southern California to attend the Game Awards.
I did.
I remember you came like GOTY week last week. You were like, all right, I'm ready to tell my stories. And I'm like, dog, you got to pause on that shit. Got to pause, save it for next week, and now's the time.
And the bummer is, I forgot it all. I don't remember what happened out there.
All right, game of the week.
I was there for 48 hours, and if you do the math and with the time change and all that, it's like an afternoon is really all you spend out there. No, it was great seeing everyone. It was a lot of fun catching up with people. I think the one thing everyone was sort of like mutually expressing in LA was sort of like, how do you do this? Like, how do you be at a thing? Yeah. How do you do an event? It was very this sort of like everyone was under this spell in a weird way. But in terms of the show itself and the award show, I mean, you saw what I saw, only I was a little bit more confused because there was a lot less context around it all, and we were sort of just sitting there. I think from like a production point of view, I think this was like the tightest broadcast ready top to bottom production that they've ever put on. I think it was precisionally perfect in a lot of ways. I just think that show, for me, in my opinion, is that show kind of has this like weird identity crisis.
How so?
Because I don't know what that show is like wanting to be. That show seems like it wants to like attract this Hollywood audience that I don't necessarily think it needs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously, I was jazzed to see Al Pacino like show up right away, and everyone's like, holy fuck, Al Pacino.
Yeah.
What? Like, why? Huh? What?
Do you think he dipped after that appearance?
I gotta imagine.
No, there was a picture of him hanging out with Hideo Kojima after the show. So I think
maybe it was before though. Who knows?
Oh, that's true. It could have been before. You're right. Good point.
I don't know. I think, I just think like there is this weird desperation to be quote unquote like accepted by Hollywood in a weird way. And I just think that is sort of antithetical to like the spirit of video games. Not necessarily good or bad. I just think it creates a bit of friction where maybe there doesn't need to be any.
But can I pause it to you real quick? I think this is the year that the Game Awards came into its own because Yeah, sure. That the vestige of like the Hollywood stuff is absolutely still there, but it is the kind of place where now anything can happen, and it is the kind of place where a kid wants to sneak on stage because he knows he'll like get an audience, and things that are out of Keighley's control were kind of happening all over the place. Like they were making stars out of the flute guy, and of course, part of that was like they were pointing the camera at him. They knew what they had, but it's like. The ability to like, oh, now overnight he is a sensation, and even though he's been popping up all over stuff for years and years, it's like, no, gaming now can do this to a person. I think the Game Awards are here. Like, this is it. I'm not expecting them to ever really turn into the award show that I kind of always wanted them to be, and now I've made my peace with that. Instead, they are this cultural lightning rod where anything in gaming can happen, and everyone's going to come together to show stuff off. And yeah, I'm fine with that.
I think that's what I want it to be more of. I know that like Keighley can have like Summer Game Fest and maybe like a third event that he throws throughout the year to just really be this big like hype cycle, creating like a bunch of trailers and stuff. And I'd like if he, I don't know, if we properly as an industry celebrate some of these games, because the rapid fire categories kind of leave a bad taste in my mouth. Yep. And I'm sure like the Chris Judge speech after like we meme it to death, it probably threw off a lot of the timing of the show. But then I have to assume that a lot of the rapid fire categories were always intended to be rapid fire categories. I don't know, like throw up like a quick like no clip doc. Have Danny make a 5-minute thing breaking down one of the games of the year or whatever. Like I want to learn more about some of this stuff.
That would be free though, Jan.
Well, fair.
Here's the thing, right? And I'm with you. I think we all share a similar sentiment. I think the biggest glaring kind of head scratching issue for me is sort of the way in which the awards themselves have been devalued. Because you are essentially like framing a trailer show around this tiny morsel of awards. Like I looked at my watch, I think it was close to 90 minutes in, and they had only done that first award. And I was just like, what is happening? And I realize, I think there is this unspoken ambition to like make this the Oscars. I mean, that's obvious, right? So, but at the same time, the Oscars, as much as it is a marketing sort of thing where it's retroactive, right? Where people are given these awards to sort of like say like, hey, you didn't see any of the Oscar nominated movies. What's wrong with you? Go buy them, go stream them, go rent them. There is just so much of that stuff. The fact that like then there's this 10-minute little section where my man is just like pumping out 4 winners in 30 seconds. He's just like, oh, this one. And you're like, all right, I get it. I understand what it is. I understand the revenue potential that it brings in for these publishers who are now seeing an opportunity to get a pretty radical return on their investment, which is probably substantially less than appearing at an E3 or whatever it is, right? So I get it, and I understand why everything's happening. I just think the product is left rendered in a way that you're like, what exactly do we have here? And I think the industry itself is left to sort of struggle with that kind of existential reality. But it's fun. Like, it was a fun show. It's too long, but it was a fun show. Like, it was way too long. But I don't know. I guess I'm looking at it from many different perspectives. But I feel like, you're right, Grub. It definitely is a thing now. Whatever it is, whatever it sort of like provides, whatever it's going for, it is a very tangible milestone in the game calendar, if you will. It's established itself.
I like that the Game Awards are at least trying to model themselves after the Oscars or not Gram. I guess Grammys, throw that in there, rather than like the MTV VMAs that I feel like I've had an identity crisis for forever of whether or not like, we're the counterculture, we're the cool kid awards, versus like the Game Awards where there is some weight to it, or some artificial weight to how all of this is. The viewership numbers were insane that Keighley tweeted out.
It was over 103 million, I think. I almost put it in the news, but I'm like, we're a bit removed from that. But 103 million, which is, they think they had 90 million last year. It's it's just going to keep getting bigger. And that's, these announcements that they have for these shows are just going to keep getting bigger. So it's not going anywhere. I think it should just keep being what it's been because we're used to it now. It is, it's working. And there are other award shows. If you want if you want conversations, we have a pretty good one on our Game of the Year podcast. I always preferred Giant Bomb's Game of the Year to anything else because of that.
That's
but
obviously how you should watch it, of course.
Yes, just listen to us and watch them, and then just have our audio on instead. But you could also just go in a couple months. They're gonna have the DICE Awards from the Academy of Interactive Arts and Sciences, voted on by developers, and they always make pretty interesting choices. But at the very least, it's like this is what game developers are playing and awarding. So keep an eye on what they think is good because they're probably going to take it as influence and stuff like that. So there's a lot of options on your table if this doesn't do it for you.
So maybe, I don't think as much as we've said like, oh, it's established now. I do think there's a lot of room for its evolution, right? Mm-hmm. I think because I just, everyone realizes like the awards are such a secondary kind of afterthought at this thing, right? Yeah. Like they just are. They're just not.
It's like football sometimes where it's like, all right, the game is going on, but we got to sell all these ads.
Totally. And we also have a halftime show that you really give a shit about, right? Mm-hmm. And that's the most accessible part of the entire experience. So I don't know. I maybe it just turns into a different kind of thing. But again, the attention on the DICE stuff is just not as prevalent, obviously, just because of the lack of a revenue potential there, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird existence for sure.
Do you think, and maybe this is the last thing we'll talk about with the Game Awards, but do you think that the entertainment industry is looking at the numbers that the Game Awards are doing and thinking like, okay, maybe the Oscars next year we'll stream it on Twitch and like we'll try and get these people on. That people love that Hideo Kojima guy. Let's let him in here finally. He's been writing emails and letters for 12 years now.
If the Oscars want viewership, they will give Hideo Kojima a Lifetime Achievement Award. You're right.
Oh my God.
Good.
Please.
Finally.
He cuts his own trailers. He could win editor.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine the Academy like 1 year's like, you know what? Like we could just give out video game awards.
Mm-hmm.
they could, yeah.
Right? Like why not?
They've been more open to shorts and animated stuff. But I mean like they still hate horror films, so would they open a horror category first or let video games in?
Let me rephrase that. The Golden Globes could just give out video game awards.
Fair. There we go.
Right.
Also, last question, actually. Do you think the Game Awards flute guy would have given me back my deposit?
Yes. That guy seems like a real chill dude. He seems like he would be very kind with your money, your time, your life, your body. Absolutely.
Wow.
God.
Yeah.
Oh,
agreed.
Wow. I'm all hot and bothered now. Jesus Christ.
It was a good time. It was fun being out there for sure. So
would you watch on the plane going there, and would you watch back?
Going there, I watched that Pedro Pascal Nick Cage movie.
Oh, it's so good. I love that film.
Oh, yeah.
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
There you go. Yes.
I thought that was fun. It was a fun, stupid movie. I enjoyed it. It made me laugh a few times.
Got me to like
and
Nick
then
Cage.
On the way back, I had to sit next to an inebriated Mike Mahardy and Dan Reichert, and it was the most
the greatest show on earth.
It was the most chilling, ridiculously stupid flight of my entire life. These two idiots just drinking all the wine on the plane. I'm just like, what is happening right now? Mahardy played Vampire Survivors for like 14 seconds and then left it paused for the next 2 hours. And I'm just like, what? It was chaos, but it was
like Mike Mahardy. Jesus,
it was the right kind of chaos because it's what you need on a flight like that, where you're just trying to get home, you're trying to pass the time by. The thing I'm not talking about is how on the way out to LA, I got the upgrade of a lifetime. Ladies and gentlemen, I was afforded the opportunity to upgrade to Polaris. Do you know what Polaris is?
No,
and neither did I
I'm
until
a
I got to the airport.
I don't think we're supposed to know.
No, Okay, so on my way to the airport to Newark, I got an alert, and they're like, "Yo, your plane's changed. There's some like Frankfurt to LAX flight that's stopping in Newark, and a lot of people are getting off. So you got to change planes." I get to the gate, and they're like, "Yo, you can up. We have all these Polaris seats opened up now. You can upgrade for what I will call a literal fraction of the retail price of one of these seats." So I was like, when am I going to do this? When am I going to have a chance to get this kind of seat, right, for this discounted price? I said, book me. I'm in. Let's go. My friends, it was like a studio fucking apartment on this plane.
Oh, man.
It was like a 30-inch TV, full lay flat bed. Malcolm Gladwell was sitting behind me. It was crazy. Malcolm Gladwell's not a part of the Polaris experience. It just happened to be.
Are you sure? Did you ask?
Is that what he's doing right now?
Yeah, he was just like, going to LA.
I'm going to give you a preview of my new TED Talk.
It was crazy. It was like 3 courses of food. They offered me booze right away when I sat down. I was like, no, it's 10:30. I'm all right. But It was nice to have the option. Let me tell you, they had like Saks Fifth Avenue bedding.
What?
So like the pillow was like silky smooth. I had this blanket that was amazing. You put your feet on this like cushioned. You put your feet on this
787 that you were on?
Yeah, it was a Dreamliner.
Fuck.
Dude, I'd never been on one of those either. This plane was like riding silk. It was insane.
I'm not, regardless of Polaris, like their takeoff and landing, it's like you don't even feel it at all on a Dreamliner, and it's like,
it's insane. The sky fears it. I just couldn't, like, when we landed, I was so upset. I was like, turn this motherfucker around. I don't even need to be here. It's not that big of a deal.
That's crazy.
It was amazing. It was amazing. Like I had.
Did you get to
space. I had a closet. I had space.
Was Reichert on the plane with you?
No. So
damn it,
he had some personal stuff going on, but like he would have had that opportunity too if he was with me. He was on that flight, but he had a switch. Yeah.
Right.
So we that would have been all right because there's a way where you can like make 2 suites go into one and you lower the wall between you. That would have been all right. That would have been some good.
What was the restroom situation with your Polaris seat? They just had a toilet for each individual seat, right?
Yeah, you just move your seat over to the corner and you just like literally piss into a little gate.
Nice.
Gate, yeah.
No. But it was like an exclusive snobby bathroom that was like lit real nice and smelled inexplicably good. It was like, I'm telling you, I've never had such an amazing flight. I was really blown away.
You get some pictures? I want to see some afterwards.
Oh yeah, I got pictures. I got tons of pictures.
Okay.
I'm the schmuck like doing the whole like just me out. I'm in fuck. It was
Yeah.
You have to do
just
it.
Be a YouTuber for once. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Well, hello, YouTube.
It's never gonna happen again. It's never gonna happen again.
You should have documented it,
man.
Yeah, it was wild.
All right. Well, I would have been that same type of person, super excited to show off where I'm at if I got into the Street Fighter 6 beta, but I didn't. But I understand that our own Jason A. Stryker did, sir. What was how's the streets? What were the streets like?
I fucked up those streets.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Those streets. No, I did pretty good. This is coming after the first beta, which I didn't get to really play. Like I booted it up, made a character, walked around for a little bit. Other shit got in the way and I couldn't play it. So this is my first real experience with Street Fighter 6. And I came away like really, really hyped for this. You know, say what you will about like the visuals and stuff. I'm not a big fan of how the game looks, but it plays magnificently. And a lot of that is due to, you know, all the various options that you have, like with drive impact and drive rush and cancels and shit. Just the ability to like do a backwards like roll on the ground after you get knocked down changes so much in the game because, you know, you don't have to worry about Oki anymore. Like people attacking you on wake up.
I know these words.
The drive impact is very significant in the early stages of this game. It's kind of like a focus attack from Street Fighter 4, where you hold down 2 buttons and you have like 2 hits of armor and you just plow through anything that they throw out. the counter to that is somebody can do their drive impact back. So yeah, it's something that you got to watch out for. I think the community is kind of split on it as far as, you know, whether or not it's a good inclusion. I myself like it. It adds a really cool visual flair. Remember the slowdown things that happened in Tekken 7?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The same thing will happen if you both do like a drive impact.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Looks spectacular. Yeah, it's really neat.
What characters were available for the beta?
Jury, Guile, Luke, Ryu, Ken, Kimberly.
That's a lot.
Yeah. There's got to be one or two more. I forget. But yeah, they had like 7-8 characters, I think, available. And they were the same characters that were available in the first beta. So I think they know what they're doing with that. You know, there was training mode available as you were waiting for a match. So you couldn't just sit in the lab, you know, for hours on end. So yeah, I the matches that I had, flawless, like every single one.
That sounds good.
That bodes well for this game. Absolutely.
I'm really excited. I'm excited. I think 6 is when I'm going to try and get back in, Jason.
It's going to be kind of tough getting in, you know, because there's a lot of meters to manage, and you're managing your main meter quite often, actually, because each time that you do, like, you know, drive impact or something like that, you know, it'll take a certain amount of, you know, meter. And if you burn out, well, if you go past, you know, what you have, if you use all of your meter, it's called a burnout stage. And, you know, then you're taking chip damage, then you're, you know, unable to do all this stuff. So that's something to watch out for as well. You can't just keep doing this stuff over and over and over. So
were you playing on stick, sir, or hitbox, or?
Yep. My fighting edge right over there.
Oh, beauty.
Yep. No, I had a great time with it. I hope they do another one.
I think they're probably going to keep these going pretty frequently until it comes out, because I think I think they want to have a smooth launch, and I think they want to get all the kinks out at first, and I think this is a good way of doing it. Seems like it's working so far. It's not like it's hurting the hype. It's doing anything but. It's getting everyone real excited about it.
Yeah. It's I think this is the first time I've had FOMO for like a game beta in a while. It's just like, I want to go and just get smoked by absolutely everyone.
I had a code. I had a second code just sitting there in my email, by the way, Jan.
It's fine. It's okay. This motherfucker
completely unused.
But man, I don't know. I watched some streams of it, of some like some people playing, and like, you know, just like when Jason, I understood every other word that was coming out of Jason's mouth, but then and I could barely understand what was going on screen. But the hype is building, folks.
Let's go. Let's do Back to Fight School.
No, okay.
Where I'll get taught how to play fighting games, because I'm right there with you. I want to learn. I want to learn.
I want to learn too.
Let's all go to Evo. Let's all go to Evo, huh?
Yeah.
And let's compete as a team.
Please.
Let's compete as a team. we'll all just get smoked immediately and get eliminated, even if it's double elimination. Oh shit, that just feels double sad. But something that doesn't make me sad at all is Vampire Survivors: Legend of Moonspell, the DLC. Dan and I did a quick look, and guys, because of the stupid quick look, because of the wonders that Dan showed me with the Legend of Moonspell, I had to readjust like my own personal list that I'm like formulating. I'm like, wow, Vampire Survivors does fucking whip. It is absolutely amazing.
There's a whip.
Are you not
there,
in on it, or
no? I was in on it, but then I was like, all right, this is fun, this is cool. But then, like, you know, this DLC, it adds a whole new map, and versus the rest of the maps where it's pretty much just either an open space or left and right or a verticality up and down. There's actual locations to this where certain mobs will populate. Dan calls them Battletoad Lake, that if you visit like a lake, a bunch of toad-like creatures will start swarming you, versus if you go to different parts of the map, different mobs will wind up swarming you. But the level of weapon upgrades that you can get to in the DLC, man, it's just a compression killer. It is a compression killer trying to like just watch any type of video of it, because I thought at the end, or when you reach like late game Vampire Survivors and you're going, you got everything upgraded, I thought the screen was wild. I was wrong. with this DLC and the weapons that you can upgrade, you like Dan became a galaxy. He became the Milky Way galaxy, just like attacking everything every like 2 minutes. And then he had like Sub-Zero clones popping out of him and just going off and distracting everyone. It was cool. It was absolutely fantastic. And also for $199, it's just like a big no-brainer.
I mean, the game originally came out at $3. It's $5 now, and the DLC is just $2. Although it was on sale for like $1.79 for a while. So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
The only thing I'll say about Vampire Survivors, I was trying to get my normie friends to play it, and out of the Call of Duty guys, and out of like 10 of them, only one it like landed with.
Oh, these dipshits,
which is fucking like abysmal percentages there. Like, I just want to go ahead and say like, all those people are idiots. Anyway,
you love them though.
I could just say that because they don't know I'm making fun of them. It's great. I tried it on mobile as a result of like trying to sort of onboard them. I guess after playing it on Steam Deck and playing it with the controller for so long, it's like I find it almost unplayable on mobile. Just making that transition, and it was how I was trying to like sell it to them. So I don't know. The way I was trying to sell it to them though was like, you're gonna play this game and you're gonna think you're the best in the world at it. Like that's why this game is so much fun, because it makes you think you are the best at it.
Just like Marvel Snap.
Exactly. It's funny. That's the one they are into. So I guess, you win some, lose some. But yeah, I have not tried the DLC though. I'm definitely going to get into that this weekend.
Speaking of other things about getting into, Chef Grubb, you have a interesting thing you've listed here. Evil West.
Oh, yes.
I started Evil West. First, it runs really good on the Steam Deck. That was cool. That was really nice to see. So I'm about an hour in. I just wanted to like get a taste. And I'm like, okay, I see the appeal here. It really is just a straightforward action game. And then once you start getting into the way the combat combos together and you are air juggling things, I'm like, oh, it is a Jason game. And I was
hell yes.
And I was having a very good time. And it's pretty silly. It's silly in the way like those. I mean, Dan nailed it. Like a 360 game. It really feels a lot like a 360 game.
It is definitely of that era. Yeah.
You're playing a badass cowboy with his badass cowboy friends, and you're out there killing vampires, and you're gonna go take a vampire and you're gonna put him in the sun and make him work for you. I'm like, okay, this is incredible. I love
they call them ticks.
Yeah,
ticks there.
Damn ticks, they're sucking my blood. Yeah, it's
pretty good.
It's good to like. It just like sets the table in such a fun, dumb way that I was kind of immediately enthralled with it, and it's. Just kind of plays super smooth. It's like, this would have been a hidden gem on those older consoles, and now it feels like, oh, this is so out of place. I'm like glad someone told me about it so that I can go there and enjoy it, because it definitely deserves to be played today. It holds up. It's holds up. It just came out, but it holds up with that style of game in a way that I didn't think would work. It's like, I thought we had moved on from this stuff. Yeah. Turns out, like, it's good that we're wrapping back around. There's a lot of value in the game just being a fucking video game, and this one really is that.
How much was it when you picked it up? Because I feel like it screams like $50.
I use my Steam account.
Oh, okay.
It's 50.
Okay, yeah, there we go. I'm glad that $50 games can still exist and thrive.
Yeah, that seems like the right price, I think.
And that's in the spirit of that generation as well. It's like, remember when games used to be $50?
Yeah, definitely.
Now presenting Evil West.
But I'm gonna stick with it. I'm going through High on Life and a few others right now, but I'm like, Evil West is right there in my rotation, so I'm gonna play through a little bit more of it.
There's such a synergy with like all the as it should be, with all the attacks that you upgrade and unlock and stuff. It allows for a lot of like creativity in combat, which is right up my alley, and it feels so switching between cool. It was more melee than I thought it would be, but as soon as I got into it, I see what they're doing here. So you're going to be, throwing your punches, throwing your haymakers, doing your uppercuts, knocking them up in the air, and then you can go up there and punch them into an environment object to then kill them, and like that feels good. But then you also are switching between the melee and your pistol and your like your big shoulder gun, where it's like, okay, this is a big gun, the rifle,
the rifle, and it's like okay, obviously right here that's like your triangle strategy sort of thing, where like this is good for this scenario, this is good for that scenario, and this other scenario you're going to get in close and beat people up, and it immediately feels good to switch between each one on the fly as needed. It makes you feel really cool. So
a little later on, you unlock like a tether, which is reminiscent of the DMC game. where you can like lasso essentially, lasso enemies into you or rush directly into them. It's cool.
Yes, that seems like exactly the kind of thing that would work well with this combat. So, it's kind of like the dumb fun game that I needed to finish out my year, and I'm glad it's there.
Speaking about dumb fun game, I've been playing, and Grub, I think you've also checked this out. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, arguably maybe the dumbest name for a game, but then Strangers of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin also exists. I never played the original Crisis Core that came out on the PSP, so I can't speak to the specific nuances that are different. But they got a slot machine in the corner that's constantly fucking going, It's great.
Yes, they do.
I kind of, I really, really liked Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I love the combat system in that. I really thought the party worked really well, being able to switch between the units and like the slight slowdown that would kick in when you're selecting your ability. And that isn't present here in Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. It is... Greg, would you say it's like a remaster? It's almost a remake.
Yeah. It's a remaster bordering on a remake. It's visually remade because they're using a lot of the assets that they had for Final Fantasy VII Remake. And that stuff was really well integrated into what is essentially still the PSP game.
Right. As far as I know, you're only controlling Zack. This takes place before Final Fantasy VII. And it is very, very straightforward. In terms of the flow of the game, you are just running through levels, running to encounters, clearing encounters, and just smashing a bunch of dudes. I think the weirdest thing is the combat system. It's pretty straightforward because you are just comboing stuff together, firing off spells, but it's the slot machine that's constantly going off in the corner. I think it's called the DMW, the Dream Mind Wave.
Yes, right. I think so.
Sounds perfect. Yeah.
But it's two slot machines technically that are constantly going off, and if you get 3 matching characters, and these characters are characters you meet throughout the game. So at first it's Angeal and Sephiroth, and as you meet more characters, their portraits will pop up. But if you get 3 of a kind of a character, you'll enter like an ability. You get to do a huge ability, and then if you get 3 of a kind of a number, you get like a different type of bonus, and those bonuses can range from like, all right, cool, you got infinite ability points. My favorite one so far is, you got infinite magic. Just spam that shit, dog. And then as you progress further and further through the game, your summons are also handled through the DMW system. So their character portraits are added. And it kind of adds like this fun chaos to the combat system.
Chaos, you say?
Chaos. I found it to get a little bit repetitive though, because you'll be in the flow of combat, and you got a dodge roll, you get a block, and you're kiting enemies around, and then out of nowhere, Zack is like, all right, cool, gotta do my ability now, sick, let's go to a different cutscene. But it's fun, it screams that this was made on a PSP. Everyone has flip phones. It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Grub and I were supposed to record a quick look, but then my electricity broke in my house, so that may get pushed off tomorrow or something. But I'm liking it. If you're looking for a pretty straightforward time in the Final Fantasy universe, and you don't want chaos or any hint of new metal, perhaps Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion may be up your alley.
Yeah, I was. I enjoyed the little bit I played. I played about an hour of this one as well, and I got to the point when I'm using that DMW system, like that keeps things interesting at the very least. Because otherwise, I was like, I could see this being, press X to win. Like it's just hit the attack button over and over. You're going to get through this whole game. It's like I bet it still is mostly that. But at least there'll be some fun stuff happening between now and then with that slot machine going. And when things do line up, you get to do a fun thing. You're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's like, hey, if you played the hell out of Final Fantasy VII Remake and you're waiting for, the follow-up there, I would be like, yeah, definitely go play this. Absolutely.
Yeah. Also, if like Final Fantasy VII is the only Final Fantasy you ever got into, there's a lot of hints and nods of like, hey, here's this character. Oh, hey, look at this person. They're young right now. You'll meet them in the future.
Yeah.
I also don't know how much like Nomura fuckery has been added to this, because I know the changes to Final Fantasy VII Remake, at least to the story, some folks were hit or miss with. I don't know if he's added any funkiness to this stuff.
I don't think so, but who knows?
Also, it's weird to see someone in at least the Final Fantasy VII universe just use a normal ass sword. Like this one, the sword Zack uses, it's not like super huge like Cloud or super long like Sephiroth. It's just like
a man's sword.
Just a man's sword.
Yeah.
Human sword.
Human swords. Speaking about human swords, that brings us to the Game of the Week.
Whoa.
And you can at least wield a knife in this game. The Game of the Week, folks, let me type this out real quick. Place your bets now as to what it could possibly be. You'll never see this coming. The Game of the Week, High on Life.
Wow.
We did it.
We did it. We did it, folks. We did it. I can't believe it. I think I enjoy this game a lot.
That's what I'm hearing.
am playing it and I'm not hating it. And it's like, I'm kind of waiting for that to happen. I think I could see, I'm not loving it either. Like, it's just, the combat is fine. The humor is occasionally hitting with me. The thing is, it's like when the humor's not hitting, it's actually not annoying me all that much either. It's just like, okay, that joke didn't work and I'm letting it go. And if I do stick around and wait for them to do the thing that they always do, where it's like, this guy's got 5 minutes of dialogue where he's just like riffing. It doesn't matter whether you're there or not. He's going to keep going. It's like, well, I do kind of want to see that. And it doesn't mean I'm going to laugh throughout any of it, but I'm just like, I'm curious to see like what they've done here. And all that stuff is like, that's pretty cool. And then occasionally, like 1 out of 5 times, I do laugh. I'm like, oh, this is a kind of a funny game. And I do want to see what they're going to do next. And that's where I'm at right now, about 4 hours in. And it's, I'm like, okay, well, once I get to the rest of it, I'll see if I want to stick with it. But for now, I'm enjoying it. Jason,
you've also been playing High on Life. Are you high on the game?
I'm not super high on the game. No, the gameplay, like as Grub said, is fine. The humor, I'm still in the awkward stages, I guess, where they're trying to onboard me with everything, and they come on very strong.
Yes.
And it's rapid fire, and it's a little grating to me anyway. So yeah, I'm thinking I'm past the first boss and things just opened up. So we'll see where it goes from there. But at present, like, I found no joy in it whatsoever. Like, I just like, I don't know.
That's a fucking box quote right there.
That's right, folks.
Joy in it.
Game of the week doesn't mean it particularly has to be wow everyone. It's just the game we've played the most, and it's a game. Bakalar, have you checked out High on Life at all?
I maybe have a code somewhere. I gotta look and see.
It's on Game
Pass.
Oh, it's on Game Pass. Okay, great.
Epic Store as well.
I have not had the pleasure, but I feel like it sits in this existence that is a thing that needs to be sort of just touched. Right.
Okay.
I don't know what the exact formula is for this kind of thing. I feel like Evil West is in a similar space where like you have some people who are like glowing over it, but no one has said it is definitively bad, save for, Jason, I guess, for the most part.
I'm not saying it's bad. I never cracked a smile.
I think it is a game that has to click with you, and it's like if it doesn't click with you, that it is, it brought me no joy is a way of saying that. Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Right. So I think all those pieces to the equation net out where it's like I just gotta touch it and I just gotta see what it is. And isn't Tim Robinson like cameoed in it? Also,
he's a gun.
He plays a gun.
So you know
he's
what?
One of the guns. And JB Smooth's gun is very good.
I'm gonna fucking play your game if you're doing that. Guess what? That's how you get me to play your game. So I'm a sucker for that guy.
Same here, and I'm like, honestly, I think I'm going to play till I think he's one of the last guns too, though. So
they backload the ROM. Of course, why would you not? Why would you not backload him?
I don't think it particularly plays well either. The grapple hook knife that you get very, very early in the game doesn't quite feel good. I always feel like it doesn't kick in at the distance I think it should.
Yeah, you have to be pretty close, it seems.
Yeah. Also, playing it with mouse and keyboard doesn't quite feel good. Like, there's a scanning mechanic that you do pretty often to just find your waypoints or just help you find chests around. But I'm still confused as to why I like it.
Yep, that's what happens sometimes.
And you know? Like, I want to take this opportunity to let our audience know that, hey, it's okay. It's okay if you like this game. You're going to sit with me.
And don't know why.
You're going to sit right here, and we're going to, like, hesitantly laugh and, like, I think, you know what? I do like Rick and Morty. It's okay. It's okay. We don't have to obsess over the show like everyone else. It's fine. It's fine.
100%. Like... you're exactly right. We don't say, and you know what, Jen? We don't say it enough. We just don't say it enough.
You know what I think I'm liking about it is it's doing the thing where it is actually satirizing games, and it's pretty good at that. Now, a lot of it's been done before and better. Like Stanley Parable, I think, is a good example of it, where it's like clearly been done better there. But it's not like it's not half-assed. They know the jokes that they're making about game design, and they like fully understand it. It's like, oh, they are making jokes from a perspective that feels very close to home for me. And it's I kind of can't help but respect that. And that's stuff really kicks in, Jason, a little bit later than where you're at right now. It's like in the next section, you'll see a lot more than that. And I think Jess in the quick look kind of nailed it. It is the kind of friend that you meet at a party that is like so excited to meet you that they're almost a little bit insufferable at first. And then the next time you meet them, they've calmed down. They're like a lot chiller. You're like, oh, there's actually a lot to like here. And I think High on Life is in that realm for sure, where as it sort of settles into its groove of being what it is, and it's not trying to onboard you to liking it, it is much more. It's much easier to kind of get into its groove, I think. So
you better settle the fuck down real quick.
Yeah, it settles down a little bit. Yes.
You know what? I think you just nailed it, because that's all of my friends. It's all of my friends.
To meet you or who?
Oh
or
no,
anyone?
just like I think just we enter like a different frequency when I'm amongst the boys and everything.
Sure.
The boys, the gals, and the thems of like, all right, let's just get dumb. Like let's just let's just get like really excited to see each other. Sick. God,
that's nice though. It's a good feeling.
It's a good feeling. God, there's just two it's really terrible to recount a joke on a podcast, let alone recount a joke at all. But there's two moments. One at the very beginning, one when you get into like the first kind of mission. The first one just being the tooltip intro of like, all right, let's go double jump, and then you try to double jump and you can, and then they go on a lengthy explanation of like, oh fuck, we messed up, like we have a crouch but we don't have a fucking double jump.
I know, like that's kind of what it does, is it makes fun of things that are actively bad in the game.
It's lampshade the video game. It really is. It's like we are going to put a lampshade on all our jokes, calling attention to the fact that these are shortcomings of the game. And yeah, they are a lot of times bad for sure, but I'm like, at least it does get it.
I gotta play this.
Yeah.
God damn it.
The other one is the fresh meat joke. Just like as you're entering the first mission, you meet a character and you're kind of presented with a choice, and then they just keep antagonizing you.
Oh yeah.
And then I felt really bad about it afterwards. I felt terrible.
I did it, and I'm like, playing on my Steam Deck, and the kid's playing on their Switch and not paying attention at all. And she just hears like the gun, Kenny, or Justin Roiland going, you just killed a kid, man. You just killed a kid. And she's like, what's that? Like, Dad, you're over there killing kids? It's like, wait, can kids die? I'm like, oh, God damn it, Justin Roiland, you motherfucker.
But then they solved that pretty quick.
Conversation for the rest of the night.
Yeah, I had to explain that. Got to bed around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning.
I'm just like, yeah, they die.
That's why you don't feel good, Grub. Is like you have to settle a mortal quandary with the children.
Yes, it weighs heavy on the soul.
Before we break, can I interject with two other things real quick?
Please interject away.
So the first thing I wanted to mention about getting out there to LA was playing on my Steam Deck, and like just still, I waited a while and avoided doing Epic Game Store stuff on the Steam Deck because I figured like, months will pass and like someone's going to make this even easier. And it's pretty much there. Like you can do it, but there's a lot of games that also just won't work for whatever reason.
Yeah, they're too big was the problem when I first tried. Like the games were some games were too large, and that would cause some problem. I don't know.
Yeah, and I feel like now that I've checked back into that world, it's better, but still not anywhere close to reliable.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer. I feel like I feel like I'm doing the right stuff. I just don't know if it's the total right stuff. I was curious if anyone had like a meaningful sort of like insight into that.
I was going to actually spend a bit of Christmas break like going back in and resetting up my Steam Deck with all that stuff. And so maybe when we come back, because I know, Jan, you were interested in doing this. Like, let's sit down and do a stream about it and stuff.
Yeah,
so
let's report back, right?
Yeah. Like we'll come back, we'll talk about it here on the Bombcast, and then we'll do a stream on Giant Bomb where we go through and we see like how our Steam Decks are set up, how you could set them up, and just like what the state of that is.
Yeah, more folks have them now, now, especially after the Game Awards.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, that MILF Hunter.
Shout out to Chris Judge.
Yeah. And also, like, there's weird DLC stuff. Like, I have Control on the Epic Game Store, and I'm like, I want to play the DLC, and I'm like, no, I guess I can't. I don't know how this works. Anyway, we'll get to it.
It might be the kind of thing where it's like maybe it's better just to have a dual boot Windows install for Epic Games. I don't know. Or you get an Aya Neo 2. That thing's even more powerful than the Steam Deck. It doesn't have Steam OS, which makes things a lot easier. But then you just install Epic Games on your Windows on the Aya Neo 2, and there you go. The thing is probably going to be like $1,300, but that's Bakalar money. You're flying Polaris.
Sure, yeah.
I'll just give you one when you're flying Polaris.
Did I mention the steep discount that was afforded to me, which allowed me to do the Polarisness? Also, I was at a Dave & Buster's over the weekend, guys.
Okay, brag about it. Jeez, shit.
Yeah, man, jeez.
I had not been in probably since the pandemic started.
Okay.
Understandably.
Okay, yeah.
Yo, that place is a lot.
It's
that
a
place
lot.
Is a lot. Like, people who work there, I don't understand how they're just not like, I don't know, crawling on the fly. It's intense. It is way too much. It is way too small. Like, I feel like they're all the same size, roughly. Like, you got to have a certain amount of square footage for these places. And I know everyone's like, oh, it's just like a casino farm system that just gets, kids. But the thing I realized is like, there's no more, there's very few traditional arcadey stuff, obviously, because the entire spirit of Dave & Buster's
They're
is
all
the
ticket
ticket
machines,
thing. Yeah.
Mostly ticket machines.
But what is there are every established mobile game from the last 10 years, which tells you a lot about the spirit of those games, how they find themselves in the kid casino as opposed to like a traditional arcade. It fucked my kid up. He just was like, Dylan. Money. We had this whole like discussion of money, and he was at a birthday party there. So he just got like a card with like 500 credits on it, and they were like, "Go nuts, little dude!" And he's just like, "Wow, isn't it great? Everything in life is free." And I was like, no, that's not how it works. And at the end, he wanted to go to the store where you cash out your tickets, and he wanted that Among Us backpack charm. And he was like 50 credits away, and he's like, I'm out of credit. What do I do? I'm like, what do we do, son? What do we do now? Right? How do we best?
You should have been better at video games.
And he's like, he's like, we should just buy some more, and I could totally get one of those pucks to fall into the thing. You know what he got hooked on? This grandma child I have got hooked on the goddamn like the
coin
pusher.
Dude, that's my favorite.
I mean, come on.
That's my favorite game. That's the best.
Most enticing thing I've ever seen in my life. They're all just right there on the edge. They're gonna fall.
Oh, that's on you, Bakalar. That's on you for not enjoying the coin pusher.
I did when it was real money, right? Like, that's awesome. But then we go there, right? So he's like, let's just see if anyone has more credit on their cards, because there were like a lot of little kids there that probably didn't understand. I'm like, let's steal from them. So we tried to. So we go back to the coin pusher thing, and there's this tech there, and he's like, this thing's always broken. Don't play this. And I'm like, yeah, see, it's always broken. He goes, here, and he hands us a cup of like, I don't know, 100 coins. And he's like, because the way it works at Dave & Buster's, people don't realize this. You don't just put like your card in and then it's automatically deposited on your card the way it is every other game in the place. What you have to do is you earn the credits and then you have to push your card back on the receiver to get the credit for the points you've earned. So you almost have to like touch it to cash out.
Okay.
Right? To load that on there. So he's just like, all right, here you go. Play all you want. We won 1,000 more tokens as a result.
There we go.
Just like, anarchy. He got his dumbass Among Us backpack charm and we went home and had a great day.
Hell yeah.
All right.
But he's got the sickness now.
You guys got a favorite like Dave and Buster's or Chuck E. Cheese adjacent game?
Okay, so literally over the weekend, I went to a place called Main Event by my home that is essentially a Dave & Buster's.
Okay.
Looking to see if it had Cruise and Blast, and it did in fact have Cruise and Blast, and I was very excited, and I'm like, let me see, I can get my key over here, we could do my birthday here, let's fucking go. So that's where I'm at.
Jason, you got a favorite one of those arcade games?
I can't think of any. Like, we just went to Chuck E. Cheese not too long ago for my son's birthday. For the hell of it, he had an amazing time.
Hell yeah!
But yeah, as Bakalar said, it's intense. And this is like a tiny Chuck E. Cheese too, so it was tough to even just like navigate around there. But half the games were broken. It was super ghetto. I don't know. I can't pick one. My son really liked the one where you kind of like slam a mallet down and it shoots up in the sky.
Okay.
And if he won 2 jackpots off of that, so he was rolling in tickets.
Oh yeah,
strong.
Yeah. So I think that was his favorite for sure.
Beer pong thing.
Yeah, that's weird, right?
Wow.
It makes you feel odd.
It's weird. Yeah, you're just like, what am I doing?
Is it lemonade pong? Like, do they like?
No,
it's not beer.
It's just empty. It's just that's the vehicle of the game. They just give you ping pong balls, and there's just like.
Oh wait! So the receptacles, are they just like holes in a board, or are they red
cups.
Solo cups?
No, they're red Solo cups, and there's like sensors in them, and there's like sensors in them or something. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
All right, folks. One last little thing about our game of the week. You can watch one of my. That's not my favorite movie at all. That's disingenuous to say that. You can watch most, if not all, of Tammy and the T-Rex, hit 90s film starring Denise Richards and Paul Walker.
It started up, and I almost just sat there and watched it in the game. I'm like, I should just do that on stream. That would be pretty stupid.
I watched it for far too long. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's great. It's great. There's you should, if you've never heard of Tammy and the T-Rex, at least seek out the trailer. And then it's just it's fantastic. This
Paul
is
Walker
what,
looking like a straight up boy in that movie.
Oh yeah. This is what makes me love the movies. Way of Water and Tammy and the T-Rex. All right, folks, we're gonna take a quick break and we'll be back with some video game news. I can't stop thinking about the Way of Water. I just want to be the blue people now. There's like so many questionable things in that movie. Like, but I don't question anything. I've just accepted Pandora, and now I want to go to Disney World and see Pandora.
How is it so compelling?
I don't even know if it's compelling. It's spoilers here, folks. It's the same movie, but
I would imagine it's just like it's just like, oh, there's more people who want this now, right?
You know what? Eventually, I feel like it, because two got me in. I feel like with each subsequent Avatar movie, by the end of however many he's planning on doing, the whole world is going to be in on it.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't it feel like Avatar 2 was like the most low key quadruple A release of history?
Yeah.
In history.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I can see
It's
that.
just so. I feel like it's barely registered on my sort of radar. I don't know.
Right, like Top Gun Maverick, like everyone was talking about.
That seemed to be have a much bigger moment where Avatar's just like.
Yeah, I mean, I think it did make
Christ.
more money too. I think. Avatar 2 made like what $140 million on its opening weekend, which is like really good. But I think they were expected to make even more. So I think it is coming in a little bit. It's undershooting what it was supposed to do, but it's massive, of course.
Man, I looked up local swimming lessons and everything. Oh man, I'm gonna learn.
Wait, it's you that's gonna learn how to swim. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Oh wow, tables turn.
Yeah, I got to. You know what? I'll sign me and the puppy up for swim lessons. We'll learn together.
I got
Yeah.
news for you. that dog knows how to swim already.
What? What do you know how to
Dude,
do?
dogs just like that's
they
what the
just
doggy paddle is. A dog just that tries to run in water and it like stays afloat.
What are you holding
honestly-
out on me? What else do you know how to do? Do you know how to go
Honestly, just look
outside
at the dog
already?
and do what the dog does. The dog is trying to
doggy
keep its
paddle.
head and chest above water. If you just do that, you're good.
Well, this is
Your legs
news.
stick up behind you as long as you try to keep your head and chest above water. Everything else will work out. I promise.
Well, this is news to
eventually-
me, just like this is the news music. Eventually, Bakalar, you were saying?
Actually, like she'll get tired, but you know, still out.
Eventually, she will drown.
yeah, but like still definitely last longer, I would imagine.
We'll have a race between her and I. Who can either go the furthest or last the longest? We'll see.
If this is a gambling opportunity,
There we
I
go.
will take that.
Oh, I got my cash ready to go. Get Dylan on the line. I bet he'll take this action. All right, we got news. Insomniac confirms that Spider-Man 2 is coming out next fall on PS5. This is something we knew was like scheduled for 2023, but them coming out in a blog post and essentially once again confirming that and giving a time frame. It's not going to be early 2023. It is going to be fall 2023. But I'm hopeful that it's Insomniac. They are very good at making video games. I'm hopeful they'll be able to stick to this. In that blog post, Brian Fragile Eagle Intihar said that fans could look forward to it in the autumn season. What do you guys think? You guys think we're going to be playing Spider-Man 2 next year for sure, or still a pretty good chance that a game like this could slip?
I don't know. When you're in that autumn fall window, I feel like things can quickly drift a month.
That's kind of that's like the edge of the cliff right there.
Yeah.
Like,
Built-in slippage, you know.
Right, and you're still, if you do slip into the next year, you can still be like, well, we're still in the fiscal year, so it's okay. We can get away with it, right? It's that sort of thing that's always dangerous when they play with that. But, you know, Insomniac has been very reliable. I think that there is, like I said, a strong chance this game comes out. What are you guys' like excitement levels? Because we've gotten the follow-up to Horizon. We've gotten the follow-up to the new God of War. We've gotten The Last of Us Part 2. Spider-Man sort of completes this, the PlayStation quadruple A games getting their follow-up. Like, where does it rank among those games for you in terms of your excitement level?
Well, it's important to note that they had a second chance at this with Miles Morales.
That's true.
I think they iterated quite spectacularly.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, that game is real good. So as far as hype level, yeah, I'm totally there. But yeah, they can take their time with it.
Yeah.
I
It's
trust them.
replaced like the thing it's kind of replaced the Batman games for me.
I was going to say that, yeah.
You know, like it you know, if we're using Gotham Knights as like the measuring stick, it's a better. Well, we shouldn't. So
shouldn't.
Well, I'll stop that conversation right now.
Somewhere Tam just started crying again.
Yeah, like, but it's doing everything I want from an Asylum game. You know what I mean? From like a Rocksteady Batman. So, I think like I'd like to see maybe a bit of a departure from the sort of like with the map bar stuff with all those.
Yeah.
You know, again, that's like common complaint, but I'm excited for sure. I also think this game, I don't know, man. I think they are able to match the spirit of Spider-Man in a way that is real nice. You know, it's like I keep up more with the games than I do the movies. To be honest, you know that to me that's my cinematic universe. You know,
That's my Spider-Man. The new baby-faced one, not the other baby-faced one.
Yep.
This is going to be the one that brings Miles Morales and Peter Parker together into the game. It's probably, I think they said that it would have co-op. The very least, it seems like it's going to be pretty ambitious in the way that Miles Morales I thought was an improvement in every way, and yet it was never supposed to be some big major sequel. It was somewhere between that and a
0.5
and a standalone. Yeah, and yet it was like better in every way at the same time. So it's like now that they have a chance to sort of take those lessons learned and apply it to a full sequel with the the mammoth budget and the years of development. I'm really high hopes.
How does the rights breakdown work? Like, what can they just pull any Marvel hooligan they want, or is it only like the Sony owned Marvel properties?
So Sony has a license for Spider-Man for film. They had to go out and get a separate license for the video game. I would guess that the way it works is pretty similar still to how the movies work, where they have the Spider-Man license, therefore they could bring anyone from the Spider-Man universe, like the Spider-Man comic book proper, into there, and not just because Wolverine's been in a Spider-Man comic, so now we bring in Wolverine. No, that's not going to fly. But if it's Vulture, if it is Craven the Hunter, is that his name?
Yeah.
That stuff 100% is going to be in there. Venom obviously teased in that early trailer.
Null.
So,
I feel like is Null in any of them?
Null?
Null.
Oh, one of the Venoms.
Oh.
Right. He's a symbiote. No?
I don't know. Is he a Venom? Yeah, he's the Eldritch God of Darkness and the creator of the symbiotes.
Oh, I would expect him to be there for sure, 100%. I have no idea. They did tease though Venom and Craven.
Oh,
so
I didn't
guys will be
notice
there.
that. Jesus. Oh man, I gotta watch that.
Yeah, that's neat. What about the relationship between Across the Spider-Verse and this game?
I think Sony probably does try to play that stuff up a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if something from the video game universe ends up in that movie, right?
Vice versa, right? Yeah,
vice versa. Yeah, I think the stuff from the movie will definitely find its way into the game in some form of DLC or something. But if they're really going for it, the video game stuff would pop up in the movie, and that would be, I think, a pretty big deal. But I don't know.
Or you get Spider-Gwen as a costume in this.
Oh,
maybe
yeah, I think for sure.
Haley Steinfeld, who I think is a voice actress,
That's right.
would maybe lend her voice talents here also.
Cool.
Wasn't there a glitchy costume in Miles Morales that kind of replicated the Into the Spider-Verse? Or am I imagining that?
Yep,
No,
there was.
The animator was very proud of that.
Stuff.
Yeah, where it's
there was.
it animated
was
on the tubes and
spectacular.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you meant the robot. What is it? SPDR?
Oh no.
I was
People in chat are saying that the Insomniac 2018 Spider-Man is in the movie trailer.
Oh.
That's very cool. So yes, there you go. Asked and answered.
But how do you?
The suit's different. Yeah, it's pretty
cool.
specific.
You
Yeah.
identify the suit based on the way the suit looks. That is very exciting. Boy, that
Spider-Man's cool, man.
Have you guys watched that Across the Universe trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's a super strong trailer, but
I cried.
I don't know,
cried.
man.
Really?
I cried.
Dude,
Yes.
my
The way
favorite.
that mama talks to her boy.
Yeah.
Holy shit! It blew me away.
yeah, I'm a sucker for that shit as well. It just didn't grab me, I guess. Maybe I didn't watch it with the volume high enough. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I know that first one is so. That first Spider-Verse movie is still underappreciated.
Yeah, I think it's the best superhero movie and still somehow underappreciated.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it is still somehow underappreciated from a more of a mainstream or a collective appeal. I think it is somehow not gotten the credit it deserves for what that shit is.
Okay, I could
people
see.
who like the movie.
No.
Obviously everyone who
Yeah.
sees it is of course this is a masterpiece.
Yeah,
But,
I think it unfortunately has the animation baggage on it, and that folks still don't take that seriously versus
there's
a
still some
live
people who are
action
just
jazz.
Hey, it's it's who's Spider-Man now? Who's
Tom Holland.
Yeah, it's Tom Holland's or bust. It's no, fuck you, idiot. Watch this. This is the best Spider-Man shit there ever has been.
I saw my favorite Spider-Man in that trailer, and then I was just oh shit. Saw good old Ben Reilly, Scarlet Spider himself. And I'm
Scarlet Spider. Scarlet Spider's pretty buff, isn't he?
He's the same.
I thought he was a buffer boy.
Maybe in different iterations. I just really like that suit, and he's a sad
And
boy.
2099's in it too, right?
Yeah, Oscar Isaac.
Oh god.
Oscar Isaac's
Yeah.
Why doesn't he do enough? I love Oscar Isaac, but doesn't he in enough stuff?
No, put him in everything, man.
Isn't he doing enough?
I like that Jake Johnson, I think that's his name, is like Peter B. Parker, because he's he seems like a trashy boy and the foil to Oscar Isaac, actually.
I like Noir and I like Spider
of course.
Pig.
Yeah.
Spider-Ham.
Spider-Ham.
Nick Cage. Yeah, Spider-Ham, absolutely. All right, let's move on. High on Life seems like a hit. High on Life is the best-selling game this week on Steam. That's according to the Steam database. But also, at the same time, it's also the most popular game on Game Pass. This puts it ahead of perennial hits like Minecraft and Forza Horizon 5, which even as new games come out to the service, if they're from third party, they typically don't go that high on the list. That's just that this could be the biggest third-party day one Game Pass game so far. It seems like a lot of people are or at least a lot of people are playing it. The reviews have been pretty mixed, but a lot of people are playing it, and the word of mouth is being pretty positive, and I think that's drawing more people into Game Pass to trying it out, and then also buying the game straight up on Steam where you can't get it through Game Pass. So, good for them. Have you guys seen the sort of response? Because when I go on Twitter, I do see a lot of buzz about the game. Are there any people in your circles? Are your dirtbag friends playing High on Life, Bakalar?
No, they're idiots. They don't know anything.
No,
they just don't. Yeah.
No, it's sorry, Jason, go ahead.
I've got a friend that's super high on it, so he's constantly gushing about it, and it's infectious because I see it all over the place. Mm-hmm. So it's super surprising that it's actually beating out things like Minecraft and Forza. Mm-hmm. That's pretty impressive. So I figured that this game was going to be kind of not a cult hit, but low on the radar. The Rick and Morty fans would just be into it and that's it. But no, it seems to be grabbing more than that.
I think it's going to find, and I think it's going to find that a lot of people do end up enjoying it. I think they're not going to come to it with, I'm playing all games, so what does this do different? And it's like a decent Doom 2016 that with a sense of humor. I'm here for that. To a lot of people, I bet this game feels very different and very fresh.
Oh, totally. Based off of I feel like a lot of people also have open world fatigue at this point.
Yeah.
That they want something a little bit more streamlined and kind of linear.
That's kind of like, I didn't say it specifically with the Spider-Man 2 anticipation kind of thing, but I do think there's maybe a little more to learn about some of that stuff that gets thrown out at you with the open world stuff.
Yeah.
I think obviously Horizon's the perfect example of fatigue there, but I don't know, you suck it in a little bit, you reel it in a little bit, even with upgrades and stuff like that. I felt some of that fatigue in Ragnarok. I don't know. Yeah. Just maybe tighten it up a little bit.
Didn't Justin Roiland work on another game? He worked on a VR game a couple years ago, right?
Trover Saves the Universe, I think.
Saves the Universe, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe that didn't blow up as much because barrier to entry with VR, right?
Yeah. And people are this is blowing up. And if you go on YouTube, you might see a video of here's what happens if you just let Kenny talk and you don't do what he tells you to do. And it's like an 8-minute long video of him just talking nonstop. And it's got 1 million views already. The game's been out for a few days, 1.5 million views. So people are hungry for this content from these creators, at least in a general audience, and it seems like it is turning into direct sales for the game and a lot of success on Game Pass. Someone in chat, I think it was Jedi Moss, pointed out they did confirm in a press release this is the biggest Game Pass Day 1 release from at least from a third party. So,
I shot that motherfucker right away, by the way.
Yeah, me too. I was actually spamming the trigger until it let me do it, and then he was dead. Yeah.
Give me I think you should leave the video game.
Oh,
God damn it, yes.
Please. I don't even know
just
what that would be.
WarioWare. WarioWare. Just be WarioWare.
Oh, and then one of the games is you just pour the water over the steaks? Oh, man.
Oh my God, I can see it in my head.
The other one is just coffin flop.
Pushing the door open the wrong way, and it's the one mini game that just lasts for 5 minutes as you slowly creak it open.
Wario is in that group of friends.
Yeah, for sure.
That piece of shit.
God, you pick a buff baby. Oh my God.
Internet, can I get a artwork of Wario with his hair slicked back? I would like that.
Great.
Oh my God.
Right. Let's hit this one. Hogwarts Legacy has been delayed on Switch, PS4, and Xbox One.
Fuck off.
Yeah, it's still coming to PC and new-gen consoles on February 10th. The launch of Hogwarts Legacy has been pushed back, though, for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One to April 4th, Switch owners to July 25th. Boy, that Switch version is not a cloud game. It's just going to be this real game that comes out for PS5 and Xbox Series X, somehow running natively on the Switch. Obviously, you could scale stuff down. You can do that. I think this is an Unreal Engine game. I think it is. Unreal's pretty optimized for Switch, and yet, obviously they did struggle to have all this happening at the same time, so they are going to delay it by almost, a half a year, nearly half a year, just to get it running on Switch well enough that they feel like they could put it out. This game just seems like it's destined to be either this wide audience that doesn't know about all the controversy surrounding J.K. Rowling being a dirtbag, and they're going to go out and fall in love with it, or it's going to come out and it's going to be not everything that audience wants it to be. Because if you go on their subreddit, they're like, this is going to be a complete simulation of being a wizard or a witch in this world. It's going to be everything for me. I'm like, oh, honey, you got to settle down. You got to calm down.
Learn about tempering your expectations here,
yes,
folks.
It is time to temper some expectations. And of course, we're covering it because it's a game, but every time we do, I think we're going to keep pointing out J.K. Rowling really makes it very hard for me to be even a little bit excited. Mostly just spoils anything for me and makes me feel kind of gross about the whole thing. Do not want. Final Fantasy Pixel remasters are coming to Switch and PS4. Finally, the 6-game compilation will finally go to Nintendo and Sony consoles in spring 2023. You can get all of them individually. They'll be on the digital store, but you can also buy a physical bundle for $75 directly from Square Enix's online store, where you have to then also pay $25 in shipping. So it's essentially a $100. And here's the kicker. They're already sold out. So now even if you did want it, you can't go do that anymore.
How do they keep getting away with this?
It's Square Enix and they're very good at business. You could pay $260 for no, that was sarcasm. Okay. They have a $260 collector's edition that you can also get. I don't know. This is such a weird thing. These games that they've kept putting out over and over the years, and they always try to charge at least $15 for each of them. They've tried to keep the price high. At a certain point, this starts to just feel really strange.
What's in the collector's edition? Like a keychain or something?
There was a list, but yeah, basically, yeah.
Poor fonts.
Keychain and a note that says "kick yourself in the nuts" so we don't have to.
Just like you just got a pile of zippers, just loose zippers.
What am I going to do with all these little zippers?
Just glue them to your clothes like they do in Final Fantasy. I'm glad they're coming. People are worried about the font. They put out a bunch of screenshots from the Steam version with that fucked up font that's there's a big text bubble.
Yep.
There's a little squished, ugly font from 2009, and they just put it in there. That font in there looks completely out of place. Yep. And then they put those screenshots out and said, hey, pay $75 for this collection. And then everyone's like, what about the font? It looks real bad. And then they're like, no, we're going to take these pictures down. That's not what the game's going to look like. We're going to fix the font. I guess we'll see. I think they've done some updates on Steam to improve that over time as well. So hopefully it won't be all that bad, but I don't know. I would just play these ROMs, guys. There's a place to play these games. They are just ROMs, and there's other ways to get ROMs. Yeah. UK Watchdog continues to yell at Nintendo about shitty Joy-Con controllers. This is from a UK consumer watchdog organization called Which? And that's not like WITCH, it's WHICH. It ran a study with 5 sets of Joy-Cons, which, you think that maybe wouldn't be enough to get a scientific average. That doesn't matter because all 5 pairs had drift. Every single one had drift.
Boy.
The left Joy-Con for each pair was more affected, but every single Joy-Con device had some form of drift. They said as they went looked into it more, reasons were dirt, contamination, all kinds of stuff were getting in there. But what they really decided is this is a design flaw on Nintendo's behalf, and that they therefore should give a no quibble, which I think is a very good UK phrase, a no quibble exchange policy. Now. We have a no-quibble exchange policy for Joy-Con in the United States. You might remember that one Patrick Klepek reported about this.
Yeah, he did that.
Yes, he reported on this, told everyone, hey, essentially...
He quibbled so hard.
Yeah, he quibbled.
He was the last quibble. That was it.
He was inside Nintendo, they're like, if anyone asks, just give it to them. And then apparently, immediately after that, everyone started sending in their Joy-Cons and the cost to Nintendo just skyrocketed. And that might be why in places like the UK and other countries, they don't have a no quibble exchange policy because Patrick Klepek told everybody. So, people should keep yelling at Nintendo because who cares how much it cost you? You messed up and created some really shitty controllers. You should do something about it.
I'm sitting on 2, drifting Joy-Cons as we speak. So,
maybe they're drifting. Yeah.
Oh, man, the same joke.
We, just like those Joy-Cons, are drift compatible.
There it is.
Buddy. Buddy.
I don't know. We got a new Switch of some sort probably coming within the next 2 years. They better fix these Joy-Cons, right?
Do you think they'll be detachable then? Is that partially why that they just poop in the bed?
So there's ways that they could do. There's ways that they could improve the the IPX rating and stuff. Yeah, or they could do the magnetic sensors, the Hall effect sensors and stuff. Yeah, absolutely. There are ways to make these things just never drift, and they don't want to because these parts are cheap and readily available. And I mean, it might have to increase the costs, but I think at this point it might be a fair trade. Or at least, the very least, Nintendo could pay more of the cost and not pass it on to us for once. But that seems very unlikely. Game Pass could get an ad-supported tier. Microsoft put out a survey to gauge the interest of users regarding a $3 per month option that would include ads that play while launching a game. Yes. So new games, however, they would not come to this tier until 6 months after release. So with all the other tiers, day one, Game Pass, they're just there. With this tier, you'd have to wait a little bit longer. Now, again, this is a $3 option. So with ads, clearly they're trying to just get people in there to then sell them up. Be like, hey, if you want to play that game now, pay $7 extra and you could be in there. And that's probably going to be pretty effective. Yep. If this thing actually launches, which seems like it does. It seems pretty likely based on what I've heard that there's internally they are really considering this. There's I guess a deck going around where they are pitching this to themselves and saying, hey, is this going to work? And now the fact that they're out there gauging interest on this thing that they've been considering seems like they want to know, or at least soften the blow if people are like, this is weird. I don't want ads in this stuff. But I think they're trying to see what they can get away with. Now, Game Pass is grew about 28% last year, but that's not as fast as they were hoping. That's a pretty big number of growth, but it's like they were expecting, or on the high end, they were expecting about 75% growth. But 28% is pretty good when you don't put out any fucking games, right? Xbox hasn't had a lot of games in the last year. I mean, I love Pentiment, but it's not a Game Pass seller. And I think that Microsoft themselves have admitted this. We don't have anything to really get people moving. So the fact that it's still growing despite not having those games, I would think it's a good sign that things are working. Yeah. But how do you guys read this news? Do you think this is something saying we're leaving money on the table? We can't do that? I
don't know. Just having an ad supported tier of any streaming service is absolutely miserable.
Yes.
I can't go on Peacock other than for premium live events from the WWE, because anytime I try and binge a show there, I still get commercial breaks, and then my interest is immediately evaporates. But I guess if it's the ads are only popping up when you're launching a game, that's once, twice a day, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, figure out how to do it during loading screens. And
they might do it during, or when a match starts in an online multiplayer game. I mean, I would not. My description of how it works, I would not run that home as this is the only way it's going to work. It could be a lot more intrusive than what we know right now.
Yep.
Yeah, every time you pause the game, there could be a little window right there where it's hey, here's an ad. Be as creative as you possibly can with how scummy the ad placements could be. It's probably going to be like that. I mean,
I think it feels real bad on paper.
Yeah.
But maybe $3. The execution.
Yeah, $3 is
$3 is basically. That's. I mean, what you're paying for is or what you're missing out rather is the concession is the time, right? Is the delay. The 6-month delay is pretty substantial.
Right, but then a game you really want to play comes along, and it's
and you're hey,
now this is the month where I go up, and then after this I'll cancel down. Hey, let me go back down to the $3 tier after this, and I think a lot of people will probably just be well, now that I don't have the ads, this is so much better. I'm just going to stick around.
Right,
this is them trying to manipulate us into spending more money, and it's of course
it's just the onboarding. It's just the first taste is free kind of thing to get you to Game Pass. It's the same reason Netflix, right, is going to do it.
They're doing it, yeah.
Or they already are doing it.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Would folks on this ad-supported tier, would they still get the little bit of a discount on games that are regular Game Pass?
Probably would. I don't think there's any word about that. I think if you're in their Game Pass ecosystem at all, they probably would want you thinking about, okay, no, I do want to buy these games still, so I do get that 10% discount or whatever it is. They probably do.
Yeah.
I think so.
Would like this, yes.
Yeah. This is probably a byproduct also of uncertainty about the future of the macroeconomic situation, where people are is there going to be a recession? Is there not going to be? Are people going to have enough spare cash to be thinking about subscriptions if they do start cutting subscriptions? Where are we on that tier list of are we one of the first ones you cut, or are we on one of the last ones you cut? How do we position ourselves so we can still stay in people's lives? And I think that's like Netflix looking at their ad-supported option, Microsoft doing the same thing. You kind of can't be like telling investors like, oh, we don't want to do that because we think ads are icky. Like, we don't give a fuck what you think about that. Like, you got to go make money. Like, and I think that's exactly what this is. All right. Super Nintendo World is opening February 17th, boys.
Let's go. Let's go.
Bakalar, can we go?
He's
on
not
the spot.
He's not
Do it. I already bought tickets, in fact.
All right. Yes. Oh, yes. Honestly, let's just steal Mike Minotti's credit card, make him pay for us to go.
That works for me, too. Crime has always been legal.
Always.
Mike Minotti, let's do it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think they have the Avatar thing out there too, right? Or is that only in Orlando? I don't know.
In Orlando, unfortunately.
God damn it. The Battle Team Bowser on the groundbreaking Mario Kart ride. That's one of the main attractions they're going to have there. They will also have interactive games throughout the land, which tracks your score with the Power Up Band trademark. You could dine at Toadstool Cafe, which I am desperate to do. Meet Mario and friends. Purchase exclusive merch at the One-Up Factory.
Delicious.
Old meat Mario. Yep.
Yeah, meet Mario at the Toadstool Cafe. Absolutely. It's opening February 17th. I am very excited. I really would like to go. So we'll see if I can make that happen in my life. This doesn't have the Yoshi ride, which is the only thing that's missing from the Japanese park. But otherwise, this is exactly the same thing.
What are we missing in that Yoshi ride? What are we talking about here?
It's like a slow-paced sort of tour through cute little things. It's kind of a younger children's ride.
On it. Fuck it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's cute. Watch it on YouTube. I do need it, but this is typical, right? The Hollywood parks are always a little bit more compact. There's a little bit less room, and they cut some stuff, and that's what got cut here.
I could see them cutting a lot of parts of Universal Studios to make more room for Mario.
Yeah, I mean, you would hope that that's going to be pretty successful. They got the Donkey Kong expansion coming like right away. I think when they're building in Orlando. Cyrus Raven says, "Doesn't the Yoshi ride just drop you in a pit?" And I think that's a very good joke. So I'm gonna put that out there.
Pretty good.
I hope my son doesn't hear about this because he is such a Mario fan. Like, I showed him the trailer to the Mario movie, and he cried when he found out that it's not out yet. Like, he'd have to wait until March or April or whatever. He was just distraught.
I mean, time is just like, kids can't perceive time correctly, or maybe they perceive it better than we do, and they're just like, that's forever.
And he thought because I work in video games that I could call them and make them put out the movie.
Yeah, come on, Dad, what the hell? Man, my kids are the same way.
Griffin doesn't know.
My kids are like, fuck that Mario guy. It's all about Kirby. I'm like, oh, when did this happen? Yeah, and like the last week, my one daughter's like, no, Kirby's like this, and she does like a cute face, and Mario's like this. She's like, he's a man. Okay, all right, get his ass. Damn. Epic is paying $520 million in a penalty to the FTC for violating rules with Fortnite monetization. That's a fun one. FTC says the Epic violated the COPPA child privacy law by collecting personal data on users who were under 13 years of age without parental consent. The regulator also said that Fortnite used dark patterns to exploit users to make purchases.
Isn't that a game?
Not intend to make. Yeah, it's dark. Yeah, it's got the
Man of Medan, right? Dark.
Yeah,
dark patterns.
Yes.
I learned all about
skins and not even playing the game.
Yeah,
dark patterns.
That
I
honestly,
learned all about that.
We might be in the grasp of the dark patterns. The COPPA violation, that's a $275 million fine. The dark patterns violation is a $245 million fine. This is the largest fine that any company has ever paid for violating FTC rules. So they are really going after them. Since this, Epic has come out being like, man, we are happy to pay this. We're going to be number one at like child privacy and like making sure people don't buy stuff when they don't mean to. I'm like, I bet you do, Tim Sweeney. I bet you do. If you're wondering what a dark pattern is, so they had some descriptions about this.
Is it like a birthmark on your face?
No. We did a whole episode about this on Very Online Show.
Okay, what'd you learn, Bakalar? Tell me.
Which will come back one day, I promise.
Teach these kids, Bakalar.
Dark patterns are basically like deceptive gray areas in internet commerce where it's basically bad acting tactics, like in bad faith tactics that are used online to sort of a little bit of bait and switch here and there.
What makes them bad faith too is that they know it works. They know that it's manipulative, and they keep doing it. And that's exactly what happened with Epic. The FTC said that Fortnite included counterintuitive, inconsistent, and confusing button configurations that often led to single button purchases that meant users could sometimes make purchases even when bringing back the game from sleep mode on mobile. The preview button was also oddly close to the purchase button, again, causing people to accidentally hit the purchase button. Without confirmation, it would just make a purchase. The accusation is that Epic knew these design choices resulted in more inadvertent purchases and did it anyway. For example, Epic ignored more than 1 million user complaints about relevant wrongful charges. Instead, Epic did internal testing to better obfuscate the refund and cancel options. So $500 million you got to pay, because that does sound pretty messed up for a game that is seemed like it was doing fine without the dark patterns, right? It seems like it's,
yeah.
I mean, or maybe that's why we're so into it, but I mean, I don't know. It seems like they could probably monetize it in ways without having to go these dark routes.
Man, I need to reevaluate everything in my life now after finding out about dark patterns. Jeez.
Yeah, maybe we need to be employing more dark patterns here on the Giant Bombcast.
Yeah, we should talk about this.
Let's do that.
I'm gonna call Tim Sweeney his tree fort.
What's up, Sweens?
What's up, Swings? Hit me up with them dark pattern swings. John Carmack has done it at Facebook. He said that this is the end of it. Yeah, who isn't done at Facebook?
He just deleted his account or whatever. He's only doing blogs.
He got banned.
Yes, he's leaving Facebook /Oculus /Meta. He said this is the end of his decade in VR. Mostly he was frustrated about having his voice not be listened to like up front when he would tell them, "Hey, I know a lot because I'm friggin' John Carmack, and when I say an idea is dumb, I promise you it's dumb." And then they would do it anyhow, and then 6 months later, like, "John Carmack, we think this idea is dumb." He's like, "Oh, god damn it!" So he's leaving because he doesn't like that. He's going to go work in his with his artificial general intelligence company, which is working on an AGI, which is like an AI that can kind of just think in any situation. You could put it in any situation. It's not like a machine learning AI model that is only good at dissecting pictures. It could just do anything. That's going to be replacing humans in a few years.
We need to stop him.
Yeah, we got to get him back to Facebook. That's exactly right.
Yeah, we need him inhibited, actually.
Right. This is where we forked off in the wrong direction on the path, and we got to go back in time and get him back in there.
Yeah.
Last story, Activision Blizzard and CEO is leaving for Bored Apes Yacht Club. The Activision president and COO, Daniel Alegre, is leaving, according to an SEC filing. He will see through his current term, which is going to go through March 31st. Then, in the first half of the next year, he will go on to Yuga Labs, which is best known for making the Bored Ape Yacht Club's NFT. And I gotta wonder what kind of fire Activision has to be for you to be like, well, that looks like just greener pastures over there. Let's get in that NFT money. What the hell? How does this happen?
Well, so it can't be that can't be their business model anymore. It's got to just be we somehow made this like an IP now, and that's the value of the thing.
He's going to oversee their
probably true.
Making movies or something. The Bored Ape Yacht Club movie.
That to me seems like there's just I don't know.
My tummy hurts reading this.
Yeah, it's a big tum ache right there.
I mean, at least it's not Bobby Kotick, or maybe it'd be better if Bobby Kotick went over to NFTs.
Yeah, probably would be better.
Yeah, absolutely. That does it for the news, though. Jan, I'm gonna hand this show back over to you, if that's all right.
I was at a doctor appointment a couple of weeks ago, and he's like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I told him, which is also always a very
That's so awkward.
very difficult conversation to have. And anyway, the guy goes, "I went to high school with Bobby Kotick," and I was like, "That's fucked up." And he's like, "Yeah, it's pretty fucked up, isn't it?" I was surprised this guy knew what the deal was with him, but
wow, you are very much not respecting doctor gamer confidentiality right now. You got to keep that between you and your doctor. Oh, obviously.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone he went to high school with.
The gamer's creed.
Yeah,
totally.
That's just his fun fact that he likes sharing with people. It's like, hey, you play Call of Duty? I'm friends with the guy that makes it.
I'm friends with Mr. Duty. How about it?
Yeah. You want more of those Tony Hawk games? Stay at my practice. All right, folks. That just about does it for the news. I'm feeling a little bit tired, especially after yet again encountering some NFT stuff. I need to take a quick break, and after said break, we will read some emails from you, the audience. See you in a bit. I don't know how anyone manages to deal with weather colder than I don't know, 40 degrees because my world is like terrible right now. I have no idea how to handle anything. Y'all are talking about single digit weather. What?
But put it in context though, right? Because like the houses like that you're in were not built for anything lower than like 50 degrees, right?
No.
Yeah, like really limited insulation. The windows are probably not like modern or fitted for like saving energy.
No.
Like my house was built in like 2000, like right before the Great Recession, so like 2006, and Great Recession, and it was, but so like it's got like pretty modern insulation, and it like is really nice for that stuff. And I'm like, oh yeah, it could get 9 outside, and we're gonna be fine. We'll turn the heating on a little bit every couple of hours. We're going to be solid, but your house is like the complete opposite, wherever you guys live now, like, gotta be complete opposite because nothing out there is built for that kind of weather. Yeah,
Rory was talking about this like a couple weeks ago on Slack, and that the inside of his house is colder than the actual outside weather.
Yes,
and
exactly.
I don't understand how that works. I'll never be it's not even a biologist. A meteorologist? Is that the ologist I want to be to figure out weather?
Weatherologist, yeah.
It baffles me. It baffles me just like all of these lovely emails. These are the emails or the show emails. I love it. That's right, folks. Make up your own lyrics to the email song. Sing along whenever the jingle plays. The email you can send your emails to is bombcast@giantbomb.com. We've got a baby's grip of emails, so I solicited some more questions from the live chat here. If you're watching live, hello. You can use the Ask a Question button on giantbomb.com. First email comes from, great, that's a fantastic name, Gene Creamer. Gene Creamer posits.
Whoa, gross.
What is wrong with it? It's Creamer with a KR. I wonder what that surname is from.
I just need new pants. That's all I know.
They write, "Hey, bomb dogs. What if the guy who wrote The Witcher named him Gerald instead?"
Gerald and Betty.
Haha. Love from Gene Creamer from Portland.
Thank you, Gene Creamer.
Thank you,
Gene. I want to hear from you again.
Yes, please.
Keep these coming. These are the best kinds of emails.
Please keep writing. I don't know any other character names from The Witcher. Triss?
Roach.
Yeah. Roach, yeah.
Okay. I feel like that's that's a good horse name, right? That's the horse?
Yep.
That's the horse, yeah.
Triss, what are they like? What's their vibe?
She's a redhead. She plays second fiddle in his love life. I don't know.
Okay. A good will they won't they with Gerald.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, they do. They do.
Oh, okay. Well,
just whenever Yennefer isn't around. So.
What?
Yennefer
with a Y.
Yennefer. Yeah.
What if her name was just Jennifer?
Yeah, what if?
Right. Yeah.
Right?
No, it wouldn't work. No,
it wouldn't work. No.
You're telling me Jennifer and Gerald couldn't work?
Jennifer Gerald.
Folks are saying also just Trish or hey, Chris. What about that instead of Triss?
Yeah.
That works. All right, next email is another fun one. This comes from Brett from Winnipeg. I have a feeling that Microsoft's acquisition of Activision will still go through. But if the acquisition is stopped, what happens with Bobby Kotick? With everything that came up leading to the offer for the company, is there any way the board keeps him? Thanks for everything, Brett from Winnipeg.
They already kept him.
Yeah.
They already kept him. If they were going to get rid of him, they would have got rid of him. They've already kept him.
That's true.
The board are all appointed by him. They are basically him. He is the board. And the big concern was when I was doing some reporting early on this story, it was Activision did partially reach out to Microsoft. There was some reporting that said Microsoft reached out to Activision. That definitely happened. But at the same time, Activision was like looking around, be like, hey, maybe we want out of this. That means like the leadership at Activision, because they were looking at not having a Call of Duty the following year, not having a lot of other games, delaying a bunch of stuff from Blizzard. They were in rough shape. And so it's like they were like, wait, we better just exit now, because otherwise we're going to be stuck in this long rebuilding period. If you look at the numbers now, Activision's actually pretty strong. Everyone's feeling pretty good about Warzone 2. This is like investors. Investors are like very happy to be sitting at like where they're at with the price of the stock, because it's at that that $68-$70 range. So if Microsoft does buy them, it'll be like they're going to get a $20 premium on top of that. But the expectation is if Microsoft doesn't buy them, they're going to get $2 billion to $3 billion from Microsoft. They can use that money to invest, and they expect to kind of go up from like $70 to $80-$85 per share. So that's good news for Bobby Kotick. If you're Bobby Kotick, like that's all. Like there's no way he's getting kicked out unless Microsoft buys and says we don't want you around anymore. That's the only option I see.
Either way, whether or not he does get kicked out, if the Microsoft acquisition goes through, he's still going to leave with the biggest freaking parachute in the world.
He's getting his payday. Absolutely, it's a nightmare. It sucks.
Yeah,
he's getting his payday. Yep.
Okay, next email comes from Francisco from Arizona. Salutations, Bomba Gigante. Just wanted to say that Arizona had it right when it decided it wasn't going to do this daylight savings time bullshit, and everyone else needs to do the same. That is all. I love you. Francisco from Arizona, sent from my iPhone.
Wasn't there like a setback in that?
Have we backpedaled on that? I thought they decided we ain't doing this anymore.
I believe that was the sort of like, crowdsourced narrative, but I still think there's something that has to happen for it to be a lock, and I don't believe it
died in the Senate, sadly, says Virtual Jam.
No.
There you go. So our dumb asses are still going to be, getting tired at 3 p.m. when it gets dark out. I mean, look, as someone who loves the darkness, loves the nighttime,
obviously, I'm
all for this. I think it should. I think every day should be, the sun should shine as bright and as long as it can, and that's fine. The inverse of that, right, is like
Jeff Bakalar gives permission to the sun to shine.
I'll allow it, son. Also, here's the thing that no one, I think, really considered. You can't. It's not like we are just extending sunlight, right?
Right.
Like we're shortening the morning
moving light. Moving the window,
right?
That's
so
it.
Like you're going to be waking up at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and it's probably going to be dark then too. So like, pick your poison. I think my poison is still, I'm fine with a dark morning. I don't know.
Right. So the bill that died was to make DST permanent, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, because everyone wants the extra daylight hours in the evening in the summer, which is like.
It's one of those supremely like popular things on its face, and I remember reading when like last year or like a year and a half ago when this was gaining momentum, and it was like, see, America can't agree on one singular thing, and they were talking. The story was the article was talking about like how in the 70s they tried this, and everyone freaked out because. I think it had to do a lot with the morning. No one had considered the morning.
I think the morning being darker in the morning. There was a lot more car accidents and stuff. But that happens every time we change back and forth. That's the big problem. We do have to stop changing back and forth because that messes people up, causes a lot more stress, and that is where a lot of the health issues come from.
Yeah, totally.
I like daylight savings time though. I like the change. It puts a punctuation mark in my year, and I do like it being lighter for longer in the summer, and then in winter comes, it's like, oh, let's be a goblin inside where it's dark all the time. Like, yeah, I'm ready for that. I mean, it's going to do that anyhow. But just now it happens at 4:30 p.m. instead of 5:30 p.m. To me, there's not much difference there.
Let's just throw darts at a board and just switch it up depending on where we land. Like, all right, instead of going back or forth an hour, let's go back 12. All right, everybody. Hey, we've added an extra day of the week for this period.
It'll be all right.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
I wouldn't mind extra day. That's
an illusion.
But then
anyway,
they take away
man.
your Sunday, so you got a 1 day weekend.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Ah, shit. But then we get 2 Wednesdays, so take or leave what you want with that.
Oof, who wants 2 Wednesdays?
I don't, for fuck's sake.
Hey, maybe the Senate does. I don't know. All right. Next email comes from Matthew from New Jersey. Hey, all. So I wanted to reach out about the badass flautist at the Game Awards. I work in live theater, and reed players playing a metric shit ton of instruments is not uncommon. It actually happens quite frequently. I had a reed player have to bring in his sax, baritone sax, flute, piccolo, and his clarinet in a garbage can, so he didn't have to take multiple trips from his car. Anyway, love the show. Keep being awesome. Matthew from New Jersey. You think if you were like a professional musician, and you had all that stuff, wouldn't you just have like a golf caddy at that point, right?
Yeah.
Right, or just like a
big caddy. Holy shit!
Yeah, customized like back sheath that had like a place for each one. Yeah, a baritone sax is pretty fucking big, but like you can make it happen.
Right.
What's a baritone sax? Oh, okay. That's
That's the big boy saxophone. Yeah,
that's a little hefty sax. All right.
Yes. There was the alto sax, and then what's the one that Kenny G plays, the straight one?
The clarinet.
That's not, but he plays a straight saxophone. I can't remember what they're called though.
Alto sax.
Sexy sax.
Maybe?
No, the alto sax has got a soprano sax, a soprano saxophone. Thank you, chat.
Oh, there you go.
Alto sax is what I played, and that has a little bit of a curve to it because you know me.
Would you play in the ska band though?
I played the dancer that came up on stage and punched people.
Nice.
That was me.
Good.
Well, that's a very anti-ska energy band.
No, we were a violent ska. It was a separate branch only happened in Columbus, Ohio. Yeah.
Violent ska. I need that to make a resurgence. I mean, the emos are like we're living it up, buddy.
Yeah, they're in our face about it right now.
Let me tell you, I have gotten so much Paramore content in like the past like couple months. I'm living, but I want my ska family, especially the violent ska family, to have their renaissance.
Thank you.
Now that we mentioned ska, we do have to mention Terry Hall. Rest in peace, the lead singer of the Specials.
Yeah.
Passed away.
Specials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rip. That about does it for emails, but we got a couple of questions from the folks, the denizens, the audience at giantbomb.com/chat.
The goblins.
Yes.
But
our
if
people.
you want to send more emails, you can send them to bombcast@giantbomb.com. We will be pre-recording a special holiday email full episode to come out during the holiday break, and throw in emails about whatever, talk about whatever you want to talk about. Maybe we'll even answer some voicemails. Maybe we'll answer some video game voicemail questions. I don't know. The dump truck has got to make its way around somehow. But all right, questions from the live audience here. Let's see. For Jan, what is your tile game of the year? Disney Dreamlight Valley. Easy.
There you go.
Paladin Killer asks, what is your laziest meal that still uses a stove burner?
Ooh, I wonder.
Eggs.
Well, I mean, ramen, right?
No, I still microwave my ramen.
Oh, you can do the microwave ramen. That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
I do the one where you have to boil the water and then you pour it in the thing, and then I guess you could just do that in the microwave too. But
Yep,
nah,
I do that in the
I do it
microwave.
on the stove.
I do
Spaghetti's a pretty
quick and
boring
dirty
one.
eggs.
Eggs, yeah.
Little omelet.
You can
It's-
microwave those too.
It's probably wasteful, but I toast bread on the stove.
What?
Okay.
Man, that's fancy though.
Damn.
But it's fancy and yet incredibly lazy at the
Yeah.
same time. So I like that.
My toaster sounds like it's going to explode all the time, so I choose to just put it on the stove.
Replace that.
Fuck it, toasters.
You know what? We had the toaster conversation about fancy toasters one time on a UPF or something. God, I wanted it so bad. So bad.
Was it $400, $300
It
or
was
something?
some stupid.
It's one piece of
Yeah.
toast at a time. And that's living.
It fucks the toast and then.
Yeah, it makes love to
Whoa,
it.
whoa, whoa,
please.
whoa, 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 whoa,
So
whoa.
it comes,
Is this
so it
those
comes
fuck-
buttered.
Hey, is this toast?
You
fucked?
want to
I will
fuck my
not eat it.
toast? You want to fuck my toast?
I will not eat this toast unless it's been fucked.
Propaganda Panda asks, what is the crew's fantasy casting for live action Kingdom Hearts movie?
Jam?
Haley Joel Osment is all of them.
Oh man, I make Timothy Chalamet Sora, I guess. I don't know. He's a
I like him.
young looking dude, I guess.
Yeah.
I can't think of a live action, because then you're casting like Final Fantasy characters too. And like, who are you gonna get as Cloud? Rygaz?
Right.
Russell Crowe
As Mickey Mouse?
as Mickey Mouse and as Cloud.
Okay.
All right, yeah, just double duty here. Like Goofy and Donald, do you celebrity cast them or you just get their normal voices?
You get Merry and Pip from Lord of the Rings, and they get them in there. I like that.
All right. Next question from Slain McAwesome. When we will find out who, what is Meep of the Year?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. You know what? I got a plan. No spoilers, but I got a plan for that. Okay, there you go. Thank you. That's a good idea.
All right. Okay. All right. Holy Umbrella asks, what is your favorite clothing article you own and why?
It's probably a pair. It's probably a sad pair of joggers.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's my gray joggers that are the first one I got that I put on. It was like a holy experience for me.
I just bought a pair. They're going to be here tomorrow.
Oh, I'm so excited for you.
I'm very anxious. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. Hell yes. I'm so glad you got some.
I straight up, I know I wore jeans during the Bombathon, but like I shouldn't have.
Yep.
Okay. Like they've replaced, I probably have like 6 or 7 pairs now. And I do think like you can spend a little bit of money and basically get like ones that look like slacks, you know?
Sure.
Like I wore them to the Game Awards. Those were joggers I was wearing. They were sweatpants. They were like
Fancy.
slack sweatpants. So no more jeans until they're unfashionable, which I'm sure will happen.
What are your thoughts on stretchy jeans?
Cool. They're great. Yeah.
Like
I mean,
the
all the
jeggings,
jeans,
like they're like jean leggings, like they're supposed to be. Or you mean like
super tight like that? They're just
okay.
They've got they just
they just
very
put
very
spandex.
very elasticy. I like those a lot.
They just put spandex in the denim, you know?
Yeah, I like those, but then I overestimate how how flexible they actually are, and anytime I try and get too flexible, I'll get a little crotch blowout there.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to live
bad.
dangerously.
Yeah.
I was gifted a pair of Lululemon joggers that specifically addressed the crotch.
Ooh, they have like
Apparently,
a crotch
like,
pouch.
so people say they like the name of them are ABC, but apparently that means like
Always
the
be
C is
cocky.
crotch.
Okay.
Like the C is
Always
crotch.
break crotch.
I don't know what it's called.
Anti-break crotch.
Anti-ball crush. I think it's anti-ball crush.
Anti-ball crush. That's my favorite comedy duo. Oh, Anti-ball crush. Come see us live in concert.
We'll be at the Borgata.
All right. Next question comes from MJ's Panky. I probably read that wrong. Question for all in lieu of an email. Do you all worry that you'll eventually age out of video games? Like when you're 60s, do you still plan on playing video games?
I've been having just a bit of a panic attack, like this really tiny one. When I think about like wake up, you're like, I make videos about video games. Like that's not gonna last forever, right? Like, so there's definitely been like I'm imagining myself as like a old man and be like, I can't do this job then. That'd be insane. I'm like, well, I'm gonna try. We'll see if I can pull it off. So that's what I'm worried about more. I'll play video games as long as they'll let me. Like as long as it's not illegal.
I think it's a very important conversation to have, but I also think it's one that is sort of open-ended, right? Because we are aging essentially with the first generation to have home video games.
Right.
So there's not necessarily an answer to that. What I will say is there's people in their 80s who actively play video games, right? There's people of all ages who still actively play video games. And I believe that like we will just age with it and be a part of it. I think
yes,
in a lot of ways our generation kind of gets almost like a selfish treatment of it because we get things sort of built for us with like the retro stuff. Like it just seems like there's a lot of things that happened first with our generation that has always been supported, right?
Yeah,
and
we're gonna be the
catered
first
to.
ones that really get the and we were already getting it, the things that appeal to our midlife crises.
Yeah,
where it's
totally.
like, hey, here's an analog pocket that's way too expensive and it plays the games you played when you were a kid. You want them? Like, fuck yeah, I do. Yeah, give me 2. Absolutely.
No, I was gonna say grub, but like you know when you say you wake up in a cold sweat and you're like, am I relevant? Or you didn't say that, but you said something.
Basically, though, yes.
Basically.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I definitely think my patience and my sort of tendencies and attitudes towards games has changed in the last decade for sure. Like my patience has waned.
Yeah. Same here.
I don't have a much shorter fuse with games. I've turned the difficulty down many times.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just because of my patience and like I don't have time to sit here.
We
really
have done it all before too, right? Like if a game has familiar elements, at a certain point, I'm like, I get it, game. I guess I do kind of want to see some more. So I don't need to get good at you. I've gotten good at similar, better games. Like, let's just stop wasting my time. So that's where I come at it with the turning down the difficulty a lot of times.
And think about the people who make the games, right? Like you're telling me Kojima's what, like 61, 62, something like that?
Doesn't look it.
He doesn't. My man's going to be like 85 and he's going to be like, I still need to do this. No, like the developers, the creators, they're aging as well. Everyone is on the same trajectory. Obviously there's, younger people in the industry too, but it's all relative. It's all good.
Yeah. Also, like, bring up Kojima. I think of him like technology is eventually going to progress in a way that he is going to be able to make his wildest dreams. So like the medium is going to, like we've been saying, it's going to grow with the creators and everything along with the consumers. So who knows what type of batshit stuff he's going to be able to make, or people that have been influenced by Kojima when they get to the age where like they can properly make stuff. Here's a chaotic question here. When you play WASD games on PC, do you press the W key with your middle finger or ring finger?
Middle.
I actually can't do it anymore. Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Shit.
That's messed up.
Who does it with a
What are you
ring
doing?
finger?
Are you thumbing the D?
No, they said ring finger for the W.
Oh, ring finger. Oh, I mean, I guess like in the spirit of touch type, that's probably the
if you are comfortable, you send me pictures on Twitter of you actually playing games with your ring finger on W. I need to see this abomination.
That's weird.
But you're right. That middle finger is so dominant, though. It's like that's the way forward, is it not?
Yeah, I mean, because you used to like to. I mean, never mind. No.
Yeah, show us that. Show us those.
Yeah,
thingies.
I was gonna that whole flicky action. Hey,
show us those dirty little thingies.
Those things they've done some work in their time. They're pretty good at that. So, sorry.
Thank you, Captain Burgundy, for that little discussion there. Let's answer. We got time for a couple more. Two baby handfuls. Synth Minded asks, with Armored Core 6 officially announced, what kind of mech person are you? Western style, chunky tank on legs, battle mechs, or Japanese real robot style mecha, or super robot mecha, like Getter, Robo, Gurren Lagann, that type of jazz.
That's kind of where I'm at. Like the more humanoid looking. Yeah, give me that. I want to be in the chest of the fucking robot, or the mech as it is. Just have the chest open up, let me go in there, and that's what I want.
I want like animal mechs. This, big fan of Power Rangers, as we all know.
You're gonna like that new Transformers, yeah.
I'm actually kind of excited for it.
It looks pretty good, actually.
It looks good, stupid.
Yeah.
I like individual animal robots that have the potential to combine together to form one bigger humanoid robot.
I like the ones that look like they were designed by Lockheed Martin. Yeah. Ones that look like actual military equipment. Yeah. I am at a point where I'm like, yeah, I like jets and stuff, and I watched a ton of jet videos after watching Top Gun, and so most of my YouTube recommendations now are like, would an F-18 Hornet be able to take it? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna click on that. Let's do that. So anything that looks like real military equipment, it's disgusting, but that's where I'm at.
I'm so supremely unqualified to speak to this. Like,
really, you're not a robot guy?
I'm just not horny for robots in the way that, like, I don't know.
Well,
say,
you
like,
just watched Terminator this year.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So again, I have a lot of catching up.
Not a robot, a cybernetic organism, as Bakalar well knows at this point. So.
Exactly. Like, I think back to how horny like someone like Austin Walker is for mechs, and I would just like watch him in admiration. And
did you see his response to Armored Core 6 getting announced?
No.
On Twitter, him just like losing. He's like, "I'm back. I'm alive." It's oh no, we're feeding him energy. It was
somebody hooked a car battery up to him, and he's like just jump started. I would just listen to him speak about it, and I would just be like, I cannot relate to this at all. Like, I just have nothing in my soul that makes me want to, get all get.
What if the mech had a hockey stick?
I mean, that seems pretty cheap. That seems pretty like low hanging fruit.
Do you like monster trucks, Bakalar?
Not really. I never went to like one of those things as a kid.
Okay.
This to me sounds like you might actually be a robot, and you don't want to like give away that you are secretly
I'm
inside.
into that I don't talk about. Like I still do have hobbies in the chamber that I don't bring into the forefront.
How dare you do that?
Wow. I thought this was a safe
Cannibalize
space.
everything.
Yes.
Oh, dude. No. There's
You
just
are a
certain
product to
things-
be consumed, Bakalar. Admit it.
There are certain things.
You're a big whittler, aren't you?
Oh, man.
I do whittle wood, but that's not. I don't
whittle.
consider it a hobby. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just not a thing for me. I just don't get it. I don't understand. The only robotic like stuff that I feel like I appreciate is like the art that includes robotics, right? I feel like there's some dystopian art out there that I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Oh, the
But
nerd shit. I see. Okay.
Yeah, just like nerd art, but that's it.
What
That's
about like stuff like that Matt Damon movie Elysium, where you kind of got like a robot suit, or like
I never
Alien?
saw it, but someone did bring up a good thing in chat about Pacific Rim. I did love Pacific Rim, so that's probably my closest.
Yeah, there you go.
Robot.
That's your answer then.
Yeah, that's my role. Yeah, that's my
the
robot.
the loader robot from Aliens is probably still the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
that's just
You know what
looks
that
so
is?
cool. Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay. I don't know why Gigaflare says buy an electric kettles, you sickos. Have one. Love it.
I don't have one, and I refuse to buy one.
Do you?
I'm
Okay.
not-
How
I'm
do you
not
boil your
keen
water?
enough to justify it.
How do you boil your water then, Bakalar? You stove?
Kettle.
Okay.
Yeah, stove. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I know it's the wrong way to do it, and I know like every British person.
This is
spits
probably
my
about
general
me
direction.
talking about ramen and boiling water on the stove,
Yeah.
and that's why.
Don't you
Okay,
microwave
all right.
it?
I'll look at an electric kettle. All right. I have enough shit on my counter though.
is
I don't
a
need
bitch.
more shit on my counter.
Sorry, just someone in chat said because Jerf is a bitch, and I'm like, "Ah."
Wow.
I kind of agree. I am.
Yeah, jeez. Yeah.
All right, let's see. Last one here comes from Axel159. What's your gaming New Year's resolution?
Oh, this is a good one. I love these.
I don't know. I'm like I got so in the habit of like playing the things I felt like I had to play for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Now I'm like kind of free, but I'm like, so I want to finish some of those games I'm already playing.
There's still a couple that I never got through, not from this year, but like years past, that are always on like the master list. Like I only have one core list that I actually give a fuck about.
Okay.
But I'm still not gonna like attempt to make a dent in it. It's just, I don't know.
I'm
Like
good.
I always want to play through Disco Elysium all the way through and just especially with the director's cut and the voiceover stuff. I want to do that. Maybe that'll be the one.
It's not a resolution, but I am promising myself to really give Dwarf Fortress a real try. That's where I'm at. I probably don't have any actual resolutions for video games or anything.
I think mine is just play more of the shit that I want to play.
There you go.
And very, very often I'm like, I really want to play this game, but oh shit, it didn't come out this year. I should probably play Game of the Year stuff. And then I gravitate towards that. And sometimes it feels like a chore, but I mean, it's not, it's a fucking, I'm playing video games, I'm still having fun. So.
I know what you mean though. 100%.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've been like craving Hitman 3
Sure.
for like the last month and a half, and I haven't played it because I'm like, I don't have time, but I'm like, I'm going to give myself permission to go play some Hitman.
There you go.
Maybe like finishing games in a more timely manner than like the Game of the Year sprint. Because like I just lose a lot of sleep when it comes down to like Game of the Year season, and just like the anxiety starts to kick in of like, I haven't finished this yet. I only have so many more hours before Game of the Year. What can I do? I can't read this fast. Pentiment, slow down. All right, that about does it, y'all, for quick Q&As. Again, we're pre-recording a special Bombcast, so if you have additional questions, you can send them to bombcast@giantbomb.com. Maybe you leave a voicemail at 707-EXIT-FLU, and we'll play those on air.
Do that quick, because we're recording on Wednesday.
We're doing it tomorrow, so send them in now. Remember how to email things. Do it now. Oh, gosh. Gentlemen, I think that about does it for the last live Giant Bombcast of the year.
Wow.
Yeah.
How y'all feeling? Are you feeling good heading into the holidays, heading into the new year?
Yeah,
Bring
definitely.
it on. Bring it on.
Hell yeah.
Ready to open some presents. I'm ready for Christmas and then ready for the New
Already
Year.
ahead of you, buddy.
wrap
Already
presents.
2 nights deep.
Hey, all right. Happy Hanukkah, buddy.
Yeah, it's happening.
I'm doing the dumb thing this year where it's like, oh, I bought this for myself. a little Merry Christmas to me. And then I kept doing that. And then I almost forgot to buy presents for other people.
Yep.
Here's when you know you've got the problem. And I've never had it happen to me, but I've been close.
Okay.
Here's how you know. And I'm with you. Who doesn't just, we're all adults, and thankfully you can afford the things you want to buy. What are we doing waiting, right?
Yeah.
But here's when you know you've got like maybe a bit of a, not a problem, but like maybe you just got to tap the brakes a tiny bit. If you receive a gift and you have recently bought yourself that gift, this very same gift, maybe that's a sign that like you're just moving a little too quick. Moving a little too fast. The closest ever happened, maybe the closest it ever happened to me was I got a gift for something that was in my Amazon cart. So I like just missed it, and I was able to remove it from the cart and not have to like have two of the same thing. It's a fine line we all walk, but walk it well.
Walk it like I talk it.
Yep.
That about does it, folks, for the last live Giant Bombcast of the year. All of us here at Giant Bomb HQ, I hope you have a splendid holiday season. Go get rest. Go eat some good food. Go. You don't have to spend time with your family, but if you gotta, maybe try and enjoy some of it. Play some video games. Drink some drinks. Partake in some partakens on us, folks. And we will see you a couple more times until next year. But until then, folks, I hope you have a wonderful time, because we here at GiantBomb.com love you.
Giant Bombcast is hosted and live produced by Jan Ochoa, with support from Jeff Grubb, Dan Reichert, Jess O'Brien, Lucy James, Tamor Hussein, Jason A. Stryker, Matthew Rory, and me, Jeff Bakalar. Our theme music is provided by Tom Monda. Our logo is designed by Dave Schopenek, and you can find him online with the handle @DaveSavedTheDay. Justin Vachon is our sweet little art boy. And thank you so much for listening. Of course, a kiss on the cheek to you at home.
Mwah!